Separation E. From the separation point we call hat separation. I make a distinction, and as you can see the back, guinea, in two pieces. Profile separation. I made a distinction from the point of the neck. Here we will create the foundation of the hair. Also, to cut the foundation, at the bottom EA I left a piece straight. This will be the size. As you can see from this nape part, E with a straight sharp weft technique, so E. Using our comb like a straight ruler, I continue my cutting process. Here, I started from the nape part of the hair to make a straight cut. As you can see after cutting, I created a straight ad cut. And when it comes forward, it's a little light. Other sky, I mean it's a little 45 degrees for it to stretch forward. I applied angle. Short neck stretching forward. Using our comb as a ruler, down at an angle of 45 degrees. I left the front parts of the hair long. The back is shorter. Here's on the back. I used it as a ruler again and created a straight line. So I applied a straight cut. This was the first stage. Now I'm cutting the second stage. As you can see here, on the back, I divided two parts from these two parts. One more piece at the point I reserved. I created a horizontal distinction after creating the separation. The first hair point I cut on the back. Sure, as a guide towards myself. Horizontal at an angle of 45 degrees. As you can see here, my finger, by forming an angle of 45 degrees, horizontally towards myself. I pulled it, and then it's horizontal. I made the cut at an angle of 45 degrees.
Here then cross.
At an angle of 45 degrees. I make the hair look long forward. I'm doing it gradually as a right and a left. First I cut the right, then I cut the left. Now I cut the left side. As you can see, I cut the bottom by creating an angle of 45 degrees. I see my guide, and at an angle of 45 degrees. Scanning backwards. The reason I scan backwards, if you cut backwards at a fixed point, when you leave it forward, the front of the hair becomes long, and here I cut using an angle of 45 degrees, from short to long. Form. There will be a long haircut towards the front with folded back parts. So the back is curved and moving front longer, and we will have a nice image. I'm scanning myself right here, and the hair I cut before, after seeing your hair point, I cut it at an angle of 45 degrees. I'm scanning backwards here, as you can see. Their front is long because I'm scanning backwards. I'm moving to the third stage, to the peak. When I reach the peak, I create a vertical separation. And after creating vertical separation, I comb the hair out again and from the inside out again at an angle of 45 degrees. I'm cutting tar. Then I create a new slice separation. And from the point I cut before, I see the girl long point, and I cut it at an angle of 45 degrees to the front. Scanning backwards to guinea, and cut at 45 degrees angle. After cutting the right side guinea, I go to the left side guinea. At the peak, I see our hair point, our guide, and down at 45 degree angles, I cut it curved and folded. Here her hair is fixed backwards, so I cut by combing backwards. When you comb backwards, the hair is longer to the front and it gets a nice look without being short. Here the front parts of the hair, the long back parts. short and folded, to get the look. I apply it to a work hill. When I come to the point again at an angle of 45 degrees, I'm cutting. This hair point, we cut in the back. Point as a guide. I apply the point I cut in the middle. Then, I separate the middle guinea. I separate the separation point of the hair and the peak according to the point of fall of the hair, short part and the nape part. I'm getting a guide and forward. It will look longer at an angle of 45 degrees. Guinea to create a design that extends from the neck to the front. Comb ruler, using it as a downward angle of 45 degrees. I cut it later. To check the point I cut. Guinea at 45 degree angles. I create diagonal divisions, and so I scan backwards by creating cross divisions. I keep making sure. Left side. After cutting, I do the right side the same way. As you can see, the neck is short and long towards the front. I cut the neck short to create a design. To be longer towards the front T. Using my comb as a ruler, let's make it long forward. As you can see here, my comb is light in color. Hair color, E light because it is dark. Well, it's more advantageous to use a comb. We see the hair more clearly. Here is the color of your comb. I want to emphasize that it is important. Light comb on dark hair. Use dark combs on light hair. It will be more advantageous for you. With forward diagonal separations, I keep cutting at 45 degree angles. If you want to get a haircut like this, there are social media addresses in the description section of my service video. By reaching my salon from here. You can get hairdressing service. I apply softening after cutting our hairstyle. Here, I will apply thinning to the ends of the hair with a feel scissors. And this will make the hair a better transition. Again with gradual separations. Only the hair ends of the effect scissors I apply it to the end parts. I apply softening process without thinning too much. Here, not from the bottom of the hair, but to the ends of the hair. Your application will be more advantageous. The transitions on the ends of the hair are more beautiful. It will be healthy and will not thin the hair too much. But from the bottom E, if you use a feel scissors, the hair will swell. Swell and E shape will help you take shape hard. So I want to tell you, so if you do it on the ends of the hair, you can get better results. Gradually E upwards. I continue here on the hill. Hey, auger technique to guinea nibs. I apply a thinning process. Here you like my video and my channel. It is very important that you subscribe to my channel. If you like my video and subscribe to my channel here, I would be very pleased. Notification bell. If you open one of my new videos, you will be informed. Make the transitions of the hair softer by thinning. We provide. This makes it a better image. Here with graduation front stretching bob haircut. So we can also say the very old Victoria Beckham model. Front long, back short design. As you can see, the front long, back short and folded design. I hope you like it. Don't forget to like my video and subscribe to my channel. I will be with you with new videos. Hope to see you in the next video. Take good care of yourself.
Hello everyone, Asterisk. Today, you curtain hair layered haircut. How to design haircut. I will tell you in detail how to do it. I divide the hair into basic distinctions. I make a profile distinction first. profile distinction eyebrow starting from the middle. Of the eyebrow asterisk, the straight separation we have separated towards the neck asterisk profile. Separation crown separation as the second distinction after him crown separation. One wish from ear to ear is reserved to the other ear, clear distinction asterisk we call crown. Separation here after the coronation we divide the hair into 4 main sections asterisk. After dividing the 4 mothers into sections asterisk, creating horizontal separations from the neck asterisk, now haircut, we will start our process friends asterisk I. We'll cut the foundation of the hair after creating the horizontal separation asterisk. So I will create a straight one cut asterisk I cut. The length of the hair starting from the back asterisk after cutting the first stage. This is our guide. Asterisk after creating the guide, so the basic 2 after cutting the first stage of separation. As a difference, I cut the second stage. Asterisk asterisk, I cut the first stage and second stage 1. I equate it with the hair length I cut before asterisk by following our guide. Our progress in hair EE. Cutting it helps asterisk. Here we cut the technique pivot point technique asterisk. Pivot point TECHNIQ UEEE creating our design. As you can see on the back asterisk with straight scissor stroke. That is, with the sharpening cutting technique. After creating, I pass the back to the left side EE ear neck asterisk. I equate it with the hair length. I cut on the back and I get 1 guide. So guide means 1 asterisk 1 piece of hair from the hair point we cut first EEE. So applying the rest of the piece, following our guide here, asterisk neat. Haircut EEE. We can do the process now. I'm going to the right side in the same way. Asterisk I. Make 1 distinction horizontal and right left side asterisk before me guide from the hair. Point I cut after receiving unequal to the same. Height, this is our basic. We have hair length asterisk without shortening the hair in any way. After cutting this length E, this time we will apply a folding process here on the right in accordance with a guide. I'm equalizing hair length. I applied 1 completely straight cut here asterisk. So, blunt, long, blunt 1 appearance now. Curtain the front of the hair. I will make a hair application here. Right ear down from the back of the ear I. Made 1 right diagonal. Distinction E I cut after separating the front frame part 1, separated the right side. Now I'm separating the left side too. The left side is the same. From the peak, E behind the ear by creating a sky distinction. I said give up after that. Now the right side, past the left side of my customer while cutting asterisk and the starting point. Of the cheekbones angle, like 45 degrees, we start our haircut asterisk after cutting the front part. This is our guide. In accordance with this guide, scanning angle from right to left and E with the first hair point. I cut asterisk. I cut it at 45 degree angles by equalizing. I'm scanning as you can see here. I see my guide and cut it asterisk. This is again because I cut it at 1 fixed point, starting from the right and scanning forward. A certain point of the front parts is short from the guide. It's stretching forward, so the other long parts are also long some way to guinea asterisk asterisk I. Cut the left side. Now the left side, when I cut it, I go to the right asterisk border. Yes, stance is important E. And which of our customers, I'll cut your side in the opposite direction. E when I stand. At 1 angle at the angle there asterisk, I'm applying 1 EE cut more comfortably asterisk. Now, I see my guide as you see asterisk again. At an angle of 45 degrees asterisk, I continue my cutting process, and after cutting the first stage, I equate the other levels according to them, and asterisk I. Continue my cutting process here asterisk. My folding process after seeing and cutting the sparkleted on the front. Now I will fold the back parts asterisk here. In the front asterisk asterisk, I applied my animation curtain bangs. Design now with back cross separations. I'm separating V combing. Forward asterisk asterisk to my guide at the hair point. I cut appropriately equating with the front part asterisk. As you can see, I equate it with the hair length on the front. Asterisk, not the shortest part, but the longest part. Asterisk, I continue to process cutting by processing. I'm scanning guinea forward here from the front for scanning and cutting it forward asterisk because I cut it appropriately. For the flowers in the front asterisk, both the back is long and the back is not. Shortened folding process is applied so light folding in applying both a folding process. By processing with the sections on the front, we give movement and volume to the hair because our customer's hair structure is thin because it is volume need asterisk I. Applying a folding process because you hear asterisk I. Continue to process here to the front E because I scan the right and left. Parts of the front it's operated. I will continue. My back folding later. Here guinea is the same on the right after cutting the left side. Keep cutting with technique asterisk I cut it to the front and scan it to the longest section in front, equalizing the longest paint asterisk. I see my guide as you see, and the cutting process, and I continue. You also have this kind of one layer. Haircut curtain cardamom design. If you want to do me social media addresses in the description. Part of my video available by reaching my haul from here haircut asterisk coloring and other hairdressing services you can get service, as you can see now after cutting asterisk star. Technique with slicing technique asterisk in vertical slices EEEI. Apply hair folding process, as you can see upwards asterisk. At the ends of the hair, forming a 90-degree angle asterisk. I'm applying a folding process. I'm scanning upwards, and in the front asterisk E. I'm getting my guide. I set it as a guide on the front. I equate one hair length with that hair length asterisk this time. Just to the front, we applied a folding process. Now we are folding. The back parts. The reason why we apply slices like this hair asterisk too. The hair structure of our customer's model in accordance with the head structure, so we determine one point. We determine the guide. This guide for the whole hair we distribute it with star. Technique, so you can call it orange slice hair. After applying this process asterisk, completely scans upward small one by check balancing. That is, by checking asterisk, we will finish. Our transaction I'm scanning, and here it's small here. Again asterisk in our upward scanning and folding process, usually point cutting technique or point. Cutting technique asterisk, we apply it. As you can see, moving wavy asterisk our curtain cardamom layered haircut design after the blow dry. I'm showing you guys asterisk. I hope you are satisfied you too. If you like my video and subscribe to my channel, I would be very pleased. See you soon. Hello friends. Bob haircut design that stands out for you today. I will explain in detail how to do this. We will divide the hair into two main sections. Our first distinction is profile separation. Profile separation. From the middle of two eyebrows to the neck. We call the distinction profile separation. After creating a profile separation, your hair is at shoulder level first. So I'm from the left. I created an E horizontal distinction. I cut my first chmond after creating the horizontal separation. Here E your neck E. And starting at the very beginning. Mackerel, sharpening cutting technique. That is, with a straight I made a distinction. Stroke. And E. Now, after cutting the left side, now I went to the right side. The right side is the same, with straight scissor stroke between fingers. and sharp line cutting technique, so straight E with its
scissors.
blow Z, I'm creating a fixed design. At the back, as you can see, the previous following the hair point I cut. I'm creating burden, always the hair point we cut before. E as a guide. If you guide yourself, this too. E prevents you from making mistakes. As you can see here, E horizontal, diagonal, by creating distinctions, that is, because it stretches forward, by creating forward diagonal divisions. So yes, I keep cutting. Now I have divided it into the third level. After 3 separations you see, like the hair point we cut before. E guinea scanning backwards is straight. So I'm creating a cut. So here's her hair. Scanning backwards, I cut it straight. And following this in the same way. I cut by combing backwards. E guinea straight form, I continue. Here is a longer view from the back to the short front. We get. Here E, the name of this design, is fixed. So we can also call it a line. So at a fixed point, cut the hair. Towards the back, it can be short or long. When you make such a cut, the front of the hair is longer. The backs will be shorter. SO here. E forward, E bob. So we can say lop because it's a long bob. E we can also say lop cut. E, yes, here, under the neck. Neither too short nor too long design, as you can see backwards here. E with sharpening exact technique. Scissors. E straight E. Somehow, scanning backwards, and between fingers. I scan, I create very clear and sharp lines. As you can see, I always follow my guide from behind. I mean, the hair point I cut before. I cut by following. Very clear. I'm going to give the hair a little texture here. From ear from the peak. I make a diagonal distinction to the back, so I'm creating a cross distinction to the back here behind the ear. The right side of my client. I'm going to the left because you front of the hair. I will create floors here. E as a shortness in the front part of the floor. Cheeky by aligning your bones, that is, your cheekbones. E taking a guide, so the shortest. The section starts right from the most purposeful bones and down to 45-degree angles. I'm applying a folding process. You see here, guinea after cutting it at 45-degree angles. E like hair scrolling technique. Starting from the shortest hair point. I'm sending a very light move, an E after E. The ends of the hair by applying the pictus technique, softening. Now I cut the right side, then I went to the left side. I'm going to cut the left side, but what am I doing here? My customer's E hair later. I pass to your right, and after I pass to your right, my guide from the previous hair point I cut, taking guinea, with scrolling technique. From the shortest point, E point here, point cut by applying the point cutting technique. I continue my folding process. After cutting here, form a triangle again from the top of the hair. I make a distinction, and I take a guide to myself from left and right. Here is the hair from the hair points I cut before. E, after getting the guide, I sync according to that guide, so the hair. Here is bob stretching forward. And we have created a layered design. Yes, here. E, you see, after creating a triangle separation from the peak point E, I'm adjusting your shortness. This will be my guide. And starting from the back, I separate the hair slice by slice. And guide on this apex. as you can see by following there all over. I take a guide from a peak in each slice, and in accordance with this guide, applying point cutting technique, I'm synchronizing. That is, the length of the guide at the top. Somehow only one that tall. E, I'm scanning the point towards the front of the hair exit, and after seeing my sheath extension, applying point cutting technique, I continue the haircut, as you can see from both sides. After cutting the guinea from a peak, E, guinea the same way, and as I did in the front, E, I created a horizontal separation, a triangular form on the top, appeared, and I'm scanning this peak, and the hair point one cut before, so after determining the hair length, E same size point cutting technique, that is point, with cutting technique, E, I, cut, and then I continue to the back by creating an E vertical separation again in the part of, and comb the hair in the direction of exit, and determining the hair from the shortest point on the peak, E and point, cutting technique, that is, with the point cutting technique, E. Now I continue my cutting, so let me give the hair texture here. I apply hair folding, neither too busy nor too little. After doing the folding process, E, then F-file, auger with scissors, starting from the front parts of the hair with the technique. I'm creating the auger, end parts of the hair. I apply a light thinning process, here for a more homogeneous transition of hair, and to make the transitions more beautiful, language E piece by piece, auger E, I twist the hair by applying a hair technique. I compress the hair and the ends of the hair with money scissors, that is, with F-file scissors. I apply a thinning process. Here the transitions of the hair are more beautiful, and our model hair allows you to use it more comfortably. As you can see, the front of the hair is long, and the back is short and moving. That is, in two E models of lop and layered E hair design. We created a mixed design. You also like my video. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel. And I will be with you with new videos. I hope you like it. Thank you very much. Hope to see you.
Hello to you today, haircut with cardamom. How to design, I will explain it in detail. E. Hair separation E. We will create the sides. First E. First profile distinction. Profile separation from the beginning of the forehead to the neck straight. Separation to dot asterisk, the distinction is E. Crown separation asterisk, crown separation from ear to ear. One from ear to ear as the straight distinction we have divided. We create the second distinction. After creating these divisions asterisk, we divide our hair into four main sections, that is, into four parts, asterisk, after dividing it into four pieces. Your hair from behind your hair to determine the length of the hair to form the basis asterisk A. Horizontal distinction we create and determine the length of the hair. We have determined the length of the first stage, hair level here, to sharpening cutting technique. That is, with a straight scissor stroke, 2 and E, we tilt our customer's head very little forward and the length of your hair. We determine the first stage here. We show our customer what size we will cut after deciding asterisk E straight scissors from the end of the hair start, the cutting process. This will be our guide. We will proceed in accordance with this guide asterisk, yes, E. I'm scanning backwards asterisk and E from the hair point I cut starting from the right to the left. I'm moving with straight scissor blows too after cutting the first stage. I divide it into stages. I create one horizontal distinction in Guinea asterisk. I'm creating horizontal separations because it will be one straight cut. Friends, if there was a layered cut, I would create a vertical separation E, and even if it was an angle of 45 degrees, asterisk, I would have to create diagonal divisions asterisk, yes, because I made a straight cut asterisk E, create one horizontal distinction and one I see the hair point I cut before. So after seeing my guide asterisk, I cut the back part, gradually scanning backwards in 3 pieces asterisk and yes to the guide we cut before, following as appropriate. I continue my cutting process. Straight scissor blow here. I cut it with what we call a sharp line cutting technique asterisk. Straight scissors with one technique. I'm cutting with a blow here. I'm cutting, yes, my comb is light white. I'm using a comb dark hair asterisk. I use light colored combs on hair. Here is mine too, so it's easier when cutting hair asterisk E. It allows me to trade here, by the way, when cutting. Your scissors must be, it needs to be sharp one asterisk when you cut hair with scissors. Without breaking the ends of the hair, you can create clear cuts, and by breaking when the hair grows asterisk, not necessarily. Lengthen and in periods of 6 months asterisk. Don't forget to wrist your scissors. Don't forget to sharpen sharp. Scissors are always healthier asterisk. 1 haircut and your client's hair grows healthier. This will return you positively. See you soon. Yes, after cutting the hair, hair Guinea profile distinction backwards. From the face that started my forehead, 1 asterisk, I'm creating a profile distinction asterisk, so I divided the hair into 2 main sections asterisk. Here is the curtain on the front of the hair asterisk. We will create a cardamom design and starting from the backwards vertex. I make one distinction, diagonal to the back. I separate the front part, that is, according to the ear level, that is, both crown separation asterisk suitable, but your crown separation asterisk, I separate it as diagonal cross separation asterisk, and after creating this separation from the eyebrow level asterisk, purchase motive separation in the front part of the eye. I will create this purchase motive separation starting from the end of the eyebrow asterisk from the peak to form a triangular shape asterisk from the front part of one distinction, so as to have a triangle view. We separate, yes. The chakra is diagonal with a distinction. We will create a triangle view with distinction. Shis is the distinction we call the buying motif asterisk here. The hair is in the curtain and bangs, usually in the middle, asterisk separation from the beginning of the forehead. That is, the nose we distinguish from the middle starting from the line, and after making the distinction asterisk your cheekbones starting from the point of decline to the front. I apply folding process with 45-degree angles. I pass to the left side of my customer while cutting the right side asterisk from the left side. Because the angle will be more comfortable asterisk, I applied cutting with diagonal divisions. Now I went to my customers, right, but this time I cut the left side asterisk, 45-degree diagonal 1 on the left side asterisk by creating a distinction and scanning direction from right to left, 1 applying scanning direction. I created the curtain cardamom design, yes, hereafter creating the haircut as you can see from the peak. I scan upwards and from the inside out. Your hair like this. I'm checking if there is a wrong part 1, so now asterisk back diagonal the point where we are separated. The right and left sides are the same. Now asterisk after cutting the part of my front rivet anal motif. So yes, Guinea, my client's right side asterisk. I went to the left side to cut it, and I'm doing the folding job here by creating one scanning angle from right to left, the shortest point of hair, your best point. After seeing your hair asterisk, I do the cutting process after seeing your short hair. As you can see here, I comb the hair at a certain angle, and after seeing the length of the hair, we see our sheath, and I even cut my hair suitable for that cover asterisk here. On the right I cut it straight, or it's suitable for the length of the hair. I cut the way so your hair, the most behind asterisk. I cut the starting point like that, as a guide asterisk now. As you can see, my customer Guinea, back to front, asterisk back. Hair asterisk, I've separated. The hat somehow her hair was also front, so I divided the hair in half, or there were two sections left. Part 1, now from back to front, I'm scanning an from the point in front after scanning the bottom section, so the hair spot. I cut on the right I combine it with the hair point, so I'm scanning forward, and at the point of the hair, I cut it to fit the longest section. Asterisk. So what we call the temple point part, at the level of your ear section length, in the hair part hair point asterisk, as a guide. That is, hair length as a guide asterisk. I'm cutting it now, here again, I. Cut the left side, now you see the right side. I'm scanning for creating a diagonal distinction, asterisk. I've created one distinction, until the neck. I also scan this distinction forward, and I cut it on the left side, asterisk, take one sword from the point, and check it on that sword. So equate each other, asterisk, 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 and I cut the hair I combed to the front asterisk. Here when I comb the hair forward asterisk, without losing the length on the back of the hair on the front of the hair, because we created a certain shortness, asterisk, did we create the folding section. That short front sides asterisk for cutting point section from hair when we comb backwards both automatically folded asterisk, and your hair is not shorter than your height, so here according to the shortness in the front length of the hair one we create a haircut asterisk. We comb the hair from the neck to the front, and a certain 1 point asterisk we cut it to. This is for us asterisk, creating one activation. Operation, the front sides are short, as we scan forward back sides are long. One view here in bob cut 2, in the bob cut stretching forward, as we did asterisk. What were we doing? They don't have a front to be long asterisk We were combing from front to back here, for the back of the hair to be long from back to front asterisk Create a fixed design, so constant short, so we identified these points asterisk when we make appropriate cuts to those points behind It doesn't get shorter, and we have applied the folding process asterisk because we comb the hair right for ourselves and upwards to a certain point. We are cutting, border, yes asterisk after cutting. Now with file scissors by dividing it into sections. I apply, thinning the ends of the hair with file scissors. I also apply the net scissors with the Picatinny technique. From the ends of the hair, and light, textural one, thinning, asterisk, this makes the hair look softer asterisk. Yes, you are also curtain bangs, asterisk, layered haircut, and other layered haircut designs. Bob haircut, pixie haircut, short layered haircut designs. If you want to get service, in the V, asterisk, asterisk, my channel, asterisk, yes. In the description section, asterisk I have social media addresses, by reaching my hall from there, so you can get service from me also.
And When he starts to cut the hair from the back, in a gradual way, first E by creating horizontal separations. Our name. We start here. We will determine the basis of the first hair and the length of the hair. Our first goal will be to determine the length of the hair. Here, I decide what size the hair is in our customer, and I get the broken hair without too short. A very short haircut in curtain cardamom and layered haircut. It's better not to have more layers in long hair. Gets one more beautiful look on hair. So curtain cardamom on very extremely short layered hair. No, it looks better on long hair. Cutting hair length. 2 is a sheath from the first hair point we cut. I'm separating the tier, creating horizontal separations here, between fingers, to the sharpening cutting technique, that is, with a straight scissor stroke. I continue the cutting process, 2 after cutting the first step. As you can see, the same way here. 1 as hair, the point I cut before. I continue the cutting process, same size. I continue my cutting process in the same direction. I cut the third stage in the same way. Friend straight one way. Hair on the back 4. The back and front are separate because I'm instantly divided into my section. I created a coronation in the sections. As you can see, ear crown separation 1 ear. The straight distinction that we are separated from the line and the other ear. We say we create a crown separation. Here E after cutting the back part. Same height again. Crown on the left side of the hair. In the distinction section, her hair guinea is in 2 stages. I continue my cutting process. While cutting the hair here, the bottom one we cut before. Part as guide. I continue to process. After cutting the left side, we go to the right side. And I cut the right side in the same way. Back 1 pinch from the black part as a guide. And we continue our same length haircut. So here is the basic. We continue our cutting process by aligning the hair length. While cutting the right and left part, the stance of our customer's head is very important. Our customer's head slightly to the left while cutting the right side. Reclining. Lean slightly to the right side while cutting the left side. So cycle, so. Lying on your side. We will continue our cutting after that. This angle is very important, guys. Now profile her hair in half. Your hair after creating the distinction. Beginning the folding process from the front, that is, the curtain. Cardamom laying process. We start from the front to start front part by creating the separation of the purchase motif, i.e. triangle 1 by. We create the distinction. Triangle separation is also eyebrow. We touch our comb from the end of the eyebrows and from the point it touched from the peak. Triangle 1 way. I make a distinction. When cutting right and left after creating separation, when I cut the right side, I go to my customer's left and do the cutting process. Here, as you can see, my client, I cut the left side and went to the right side. Let's say I'm doing operation over cheekbones. Short and long, you decide for yourself. But your cheekbones, if you do the cutting process from the bottom, outward moving, 1 view, it gets 1 image that is better to get. I'm on the left side of our customer. I'm on the right, I'm cutting the left side. While cutting, I'm applying a 45-degree angle according to the angle, friends. So her hair, I'm scanning towards the exit direction of the hair, and I cut it at an angle of 45 degrees. Then, I'm going to level 2, guys. After cutting the front part, now starting from the top to the back, diagonal 1 distinction. I'm creating and forward in 1 way suitable for the short section on the front. Friends from the bottom. I see my guide after seeing my guide. Yes, as you can see here, I'm scanning 45 degrees. I see it at the bottom. I see the hair spot I cut before, as you can see here. And I continue the cutting process. Distinctions differ. I slice by slice and forward wound combing forward. And scan them all to the front. And the hair point I cut before, I cut it the same size after seeing it. The back is longer when we scan forward. The front part is folded, friends. The haircut point here, I adjust it according to the shortness in the front of the hair. I'm combing the hair here and create a 45-degree angle. After that, I continue to cut. I cut the left side. Now I will cut the right side, guys. I pass my customer's left side while cutting the right side. I pass and haircutting process by creating one diagonal. I make a diagonal distinction, a distinction as scanning angle. I'm scanning T and here, yes, hair up. I'm scanning towards the exit direction and the bottom one is cut first. I cut. I see your hair point and cut it accordingly. Now here, according to the back of your hair, I created such a diagonal one cross distinction on the back. Create one cross separation from peak to nape. I made a distinction. After creating the separation, combing the hair forward, and my client cut it to the left because I cut the right side, pass to the left side there. I'm scanning, so here is one cross, one scan process. I cut it at an angle of 45 degrees by creating. As you can see, I comb the hair to the front, but 45 degrees diagonal with one scan angle. Seeing the hair point I cut before from the bottom, I'm cutting. As you can see, I created a cross one scan angle, and I saw the hairline I had cut before, and I applied my cutting process. After applying the cutting process, her hair again this time. Starting from the front, end parts of the hair, I apply thinning process with the feel scissors, hereby hitting the hair, and I hit the hair completely and the front end of the hair. File scissors with 2-3 blows. I don't do my job of thinning too much, just 2-3. I'm applying scissors blow. Your hair is squeezing the hair because I hit the hair here. And scissors, that is, feel scissors. It provides one more natural transition with thinning processing, and more with the Burma process. A beautiful one transition without any trace on the hair. Makes it happen. Here, starting from the front of the hair to the back, I thin the hair piece by piece by creating horizontal searches. I scan the guinea forward and auger the auger process. After audition for hair, I bring the hair down to the ends with the feel scissors. Hair blocking is done on the ends of the hair, friends. The bottom of the hair and the middle part. Thinning is done after. Do not thin the middle of the hair according to the full length. Do not apply effigy scissors from the bottom of the hair in any way. You will definitely create a problem with hair. I do thinning operations on the ends of the hair. A more beautiful one here. We get the image. Our process is over. after the drying and shaping process. Inward, as you can see, I took one blow dryer with motion. Front floors are fine. Beautiful cheekbones, one design. Curtain bangs layered haircut. If you want to get a haircut like this, there are social media addresses in the description section of my video. By coming to my salon and making an appointment with me, you can get a haircut. Don't forget to like my video and subscribe to my channel. See you soon.
How to do a medium blunt haircut for you today. I will explain in detail. I'm creating the first profile separation in your hair. From the middle part, starting up to the nape part. The straight separation we have separated, we say profile separation. Then I create a crown separation. Crown separation from one ear to one straight with the other ear. We say crown separation, friends. After creating this distinction, we divide the hair into 4 main sections. Then starting a haircut. One straight that I have separated from the nape part to the oxygen area. There is one horizontal distinction. I make this distinction and cut the length of the hair. The size I will cut here is our guide. And the basic length of the hair, 2 after friends cut this length, using our comb as a ruler. 1 of our previous hair length as a guide. I cut the back part of the same size. The basic size we cut in this size. Aligning all levels, creating horizontal separation. We continue your haircut. Here properly comb our comb. I comb the hair according to the natural direction of fall of the hair. Sharp horse cutting technique. Using our comb as a ruler, specific 1. By guiding the hair point we cut before. Straight our hair 1, we cut on line. After cutting the back, the left and right sides are the same. We will equal the hair length we cut on the back. If you want to get a haircut like this, social media in the description part of the video, my addresses will be available. By reaching my hall from there, you can get haircut service and other hairdressing services. Our place is in Istanbul, Beylikdüzü. By appointment, you can come to my salon and get a haircut service. Here, after cutting the back part of our hair length, I come to the left side of the hair and the other part I reserved. In 2 levels. The hair size we cut on the back as a guide. The left side is also flat 1. I cut it into a line. And straight 1 view to sharp line cutting technique. To get, I apply 1 straight cut. After cutting this section in 2 stages. After cutting the left side section, I go to the right side. I'm cutting this place in 2 stages. Stage 1. Cutting helps the hair to disperse more homogeneously. And it helps the hair to get a better 1 look. Here again between fingers. Applying straight and sharp line cutting technique. With straight scissor strokes. 1 I cut the previous point as a guide. Front of the hair. I separated it from the eyebrow levels to accelerate the tissue. In the front, from the eyebrow level with our comb from the eye point of 2 eyebrows E.
Tarağımızla
By creating a purchase motif.
oluşturarak
Front of the
ön
hair.
kısmına
I give
doku
texture and to get a
kazandırıyor ve
folded 1
katlı
look.
bir görünüm elde etmesi için
With
45
45-degree
açılar
angles,
ile
I'm
saç
applying a
kesimi
haircut.
uyguluyorum.
With these 45-degree angles, I apply folding process to the front parts of the hair and helps it look more mobile.
Yardımcı oluyor.
This is
Bu da
100 lines of hair,
saçın
100 lines.
yüz hattının
Softening
ters
hard
köşelerini
corners
yumuşatarak
helps to
daha
get more oval
oval
one
bir
image.
görüntü elde etmesine yardımcı oluyor.
You are the
Sizler de
style
bu
one.
tarz bir saç
If you
kesimi
want to get a
yaptırmak
haircut,
isterseniz
in the
videomun
description part of my
açıklama
video,
kısmındaki
you can
sosyal
reach me
medya
on my social
adreslerinden
media
bana
addresses.
ulaşabilirsiniz.
You can get
Salonuma
a
direkt
haircut
saç
service by
kesim
going to my
hizmeti
salon.
alabilirsiniz.
Don't forget to
Videomu
like my
beğenmeyi
video and
ve
subscribe to my
kanalıma
channel.
abone olmayı unutmayın.
I will be
Yeni
with you
videolarla
with new
sizlerle
videos.
olacağım.
Hope to see
Görüşmek
you.
dileğiyle.
Hello friends, today, blunt haircut. I will explain in detail how to do this. Our model, your hair first. We create basic distinctions. Our first basic distinction is profile separation. After creating a profile separation, we create a crown separation. And after creating the coronation, we divide the hair into four main sections. Profile separation, from the beginning of the forehead to the end of the nape. Distinction with crown separation 1. From ear to ear. From the beginning 1. Starting from ear to ear and up to the other ear. We make crown separation to the distinction we have separated. With this distinction, we divide the hair into four main sections. Then horizontal from the nape part 1. By creating a distinction from two parts. So neither too thick nor too much. The basis of hair after creating fine separation. We will create, so we will determine the length of the hair. X scissors. Sharpening cutting technique using like a ruler. Creating our first E-guide. So we determine the first height. After determining this size, we are going to the second stage E-guide. And in level 2, her hair is straight one way, using our comb as a ruler. E-guide. With the sharpening technique, that is, with the straight scissor stroke, we keep cutting our hair. Berta yes. Where we took an example. Our guide so one previous cut. From the hair point we got. We continue we cut the same size. After making this cut. After the neck. We pass to the right. We create one horizontal distinction in guinea. The guide we cut from this nape part. Guinea by following. Using our comb as a ruler. We cut it the same size. After cutting the right side, we go to the left side. We create one horizontal distinction on the left side of guy, because we will create a blunt one cut here. We continue our process by creating horizontal separations. Here again one we cut before. Comb as a length guide in the nape sectio. Using it like a ruler a guy. We cut the left side section with the same technique. As you can see here we used our comb. And cut to the same size. Then checking a guy. Between fingers. Hair with technique. We continue our cut. Then we go to the back. Again by creating one horizontal distinctio. We are progressing gradually towards the top. Here are the gradual thin pieces from the neck. Taking horizontal parts. We continue our process. Bird. From the hill. As we progressed, we created one distinction to the top and created one horizontal one distinction from the middle part a guy. Then take one piece of the vertical. Between fingers. With holding technique. So we kept cutting our hair. Then second, guinea. Use our comb as a ruler and remove one previous hair point. Taking the guide so one. With the hair point we cut before. We cut the same size. Here we use our comb as a ruler. Seeing the hair point we cut before. We continue our process. And finally, after coming to the top, as you can see to pieces of pliers, separate in the section on the back of the last connected. We scan by separating from the pliers, and comb the hair according to the natural direction of fall, from the guinea nape part, starting from the middle part, following our guide at the bottom. Our haircut. We continue. In our haircut here, one of the hair points we cut before. As a guide and we continue our cutting as a guide. Here we use our comb as a ruler and straight one. Haircut. We take care to do. Here is the stance of our customer's head. Points are also very important. Always ahead of our customer. If we cut the back part, the side to the front, we cut the right side to the left. If we cut the left side to the right, by depositing, then we keep cutting. As you can see, we went to the right. I set our customer's head stand distance on the right. There. I used the comb with scissors and comb as a ruler. One hair point we cut before. I saw. And I analyzed and cut using it like a ruler. For later control purposes, I combed the hair according to its direction of fall. And finger-to-finger cutting technique. Is your hair wrong? By checking. I kept cutting with straight scissors blows. I went to the left. Same guinea on the left. I used my comb as a ruler. With straight scissor stroke. I continued with cutting by creating a straight line. As you can see here, according to the direction of hair fall. Again with a straight scissor stroke with the interfinger cutting technique. I continue the haircut, cutting my hair. One hair point that I cut before as a guide. I take care to move forward. If you want to get a haircut like this, social media addresses in the description part of my video, available by reaching here, by coming to my salon and making an appointment. You can get a haircut. Contact appointment from my social media addresses. You can come to my salon and get a haircut. As you can see, only one. With straight scissor stroke with sharp line cutting technique and straight blunt one haircut with techniques. We created the desig. Here to the front of the hair. We will give light movement. So we will do the folding process. In front of you while folding. We create one distinction that we call the purchase motif. When creating this separation of purchase motif, starting from the end point of the eyebrow, we touch our comb, and the point on the top where our comb touches. We make the distinction in a triangle one way, friends. While making this distinctio, we take the end points of the eyebrow as a guide. Hair after distinctio. If I cut your right side, I'll crossing my client's left side. And the eye appeared 45 degrees in width. With angles, I'm painting from top to bottom. After cutting the right side, I go to the left side. Our customer. I pass to the right side while cutting the left side. And again at an angle of 45 degrees. I continue my folding process. If you want to have one haircut like this, you can come to my salon and get hair cutting service. Don't forget to like my video and subscribe to my channel. Thanks to you. Our videos are being watched more and more every day. We reach more people. Thank you so much for watching my videos. I'm checking here. Our process. And in the front, we will also finish our folding process. Created a clear one cut with the blunt sharp cutting technique. We are. Don't forget to like my video and subscribe to my channel. I leave you alone with a clear, beautiful one cut. Thank you so much for watching my video till the end. I do. Take good care of yourself. Hope to see you.
See you Sunello Evrianetto. You today Pixie how to do bob haircut in detail. Will tell I divided the hair into two main sections. Upper stage and I separated two pieces as the lower stage, and from the nape part so your hair is short andium starting to cut it with vertical separations to be folded as you can see starting from the right. Moving to the left standing in the midly and again from the left side towards the middle and continue my cutting process with vertical separations, thicker, hirium. Applying B cutting accordance with the E thickness of my finger I touch your scalp to the bottom so I touch my finger on the skin of the hair. Andy continued to process finger thick cuts after making his first short like that. 2. I'm creating the distinction. I'm creating horizontal separations. Hooray, so I created a horizontal distinction, and then with vertical separation C. I continue my haircut at 45 degrees starting from the right. I'm coming to the middle. This timey coming from the left side I continue, so from the right to the middle, from left to middle. So always hairnite in the middle as short nessing. Applying a 45-degree angle here. 3 now by creating upright distinctions. Distinction also, I divided it again. I created one diagonal distinction and comb the hair according to the exit. Placement, I cut it at an angle of 45 liras to Guinea. Created a vertical separation and I see my guide at the bottom. I always follow my guidesso the hair on the bottom after seeing the hair point I cudium, adjusting the angle so it's 45 degrees greeting an angle I definitely say when I create a 45 lira angle. The back of the hair is short, so there are longer sections from the top. Directly E. If I cut it according to the short hair, how can I not create a 45 lira angle? It happens this time it's short on the bottom and the short on the top are the same size. It happens, and it will be short please when I make an angle of 45 steli. See the short section at the bottom V. I cut 45 steel at an angle's top stays longer. The bottom is still short compared to him. I keep going like this and elong sections on the right and left sides on the back with short partas. You can see forming the diagonal separation again 45 degrees. Short from the front short from the back, one extending forward create the viewers. You can see so the front is long and the back is short and folded as you can see. From the top to the ear level so I created a coronation. I make one distinction from one ear to the other, or normally everyone, so 10,000. Crown separation. This after creating a crown separation, I create a vertical separation of the rest of the back end. This distinction is vertical search first from behind as you can see. With the hair length, I cut before him, putting it together, but this hair size is also the bottom one from the bottom up 451 cut from the inside out at a degree angle cut with point I see the hair spot I cut before and cut from the inside out. These upper sides are longer than the lower sides are shorter and the volume makes it bulky. So short hair pushing long hirand one fuller image occurs. Heraguania. A distinction from the peak of the harium creating 1 guinea from the hair point. I cut before this time. I lift the hair up 90 degrees but, again, at the hair point, I cut before. 1. I see my guide, and so, I cut it from short to long, at an angle of 45 degrees after, cutting in the middle left side, is crossed a nigh. Cut it at an angle of 45 degrees. The front is longer, and the back is shorter than Hyman fold 1 image. Yugatas, you can see herium adjusting with short sections on the back eye. Made a cross distinction to the front, starting with the shortest section at the back toe, the front at an angle of 45 degrees. I make your hair grow forward in my cutting process. I continue with the sharpening, cutting technique with a straight scissor stroke. I continue scanning backwards. The reason I scan backwards is in the back. Scan the back for scanning and short sections ISO because I cut it in accordance with my cover from short to long and inside I created. 1 angle front is longer and the back is shorter. 1 image hair design that you can easily use. This summer's weakest is short. The front is long. If you want to get a haircut like this, you can reach me on social media. Addresses me in the description section of my video. So by reaching my living room from here I work by appointment as an appointmentee haircutting service. By coming to my salon, by making an appointmentee long service signed other hairdressing services you can get servicized hairy. I use pivot point technique as a haircut, literally pivot point to hairy 1 guide for us by applying this Gwitty Pixie Bob haircut, starting from the nape part with the file, scissors gradual light hard scissor blowsy to soften the ends to get its hardness in, thinning the transition of hair here too. It's softer here with elephant scissor softening the ends of the hair, starting as if the cut starts again from the neck. I thin the ends slightly with file scissors. I don't apply it to the bottom of the hair, only to the ends and vertical from there. By doing your hair, we get 1 image that thins the nape parts. Maria's, you can see her at the ends of the hair, not the bottoms of the hair also, because we did the softening process. Hair provides 1 more homogeneous transition and gets a soft 1 look. Of course, you also have every hair, so there is no thinning process. Not thinner hair, but thicker in thick hair. You can apply step by step up the ends of the hair. I keep thinning. If you want to watch my other videos, to me video my channel has a videos section from there. I have many categories of videos from here. You can also watch my videos by hair grows as you can see. I'm coming to the long section, and between fingers I take and thin the ends of the hair first. I eliminate 1 and I lift it opened, thinning the ends of the hair. Your likes for important to us. Our channel is developing day by day and to reach large audiences. I would be very pleased if you definitely like my video, because if you like my video to other friends and other people too, so I recommend this video reaches many people when it reaches the technique I apply. So friends who want to learning and ladies looking for hairstylists, my video want to get service from Methis, or that way. If you like my video and subscribe to my channel, would be very pleased. Likes and comments are also important, so if you have questions in the comment part of my videos so you can leave the comment section as answer, as I know the answery questions on your Mindusi continues my thinning process. Gradually, Lycath, last front part, has Araveth, front part 2 Ayu, don't use much. Do you? I apply a slight thinning process and shaping process. We will pass after finishing the process from here. Also, with one nice blow-dry process, finished our hair design. We will be friends. Like my videos and subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to be right now. Pretty one, Eway reached the audience. Thanks to your audience is growing every day. New friends join our channel and our designs learned and seen them. Adding some movement to the front of the hair, her to the end part. Su, no ea. Little ei did one tiny folding, the front of the hair finalito make your fall beautiful. Here are the hair cutting techniques I have learned for you. When my tongue turns to you, so I'm trying to explain as much as I can. Hope you guys are satisfied here. I comb back slightly and your hair, so I'm checking if there is a mistaken ear. Customer's ear backward say design that he can use comfortably when he throws his back to bay. Give a little touche. Our hall is in Istanbul, Beylikdüzü, working on an appointment to come to our hall. Description part of my video's social media addresses are available by reaching hair coming to my hall haircut coloring and other hairdressing services. You can also get services. You can see our model has a short story front one design. Hope you like it. See you for now. Take good care of yourself.
Hello friends, how to make a bob haircut that stretches forward to you today. I will tell you in detail. First, show the long hair of our Model 1. I cut it down. I take this long density straight and create distinctions of our model. I will create a profile distinction as the first distinction profile separation from the beginning of my forehead. Straight one, you have separated to the end of the neck. Separation profile separation. We say friends, after creating this distinction, the second distinction is also crown separation, also one by year. In the separate distinction, we have separated until the other ear. While separating this coronation, we put our comb from the beginning of the guinea forehead and the point where your back touches. We create the distinction. Here is an easy one discrimination technique. You can also apply this crown separation and my profile to divide the hair into 4 main sections. Is the technique we have applied. Very comfortable in this technique one way. You can cut the hair into pieces. After creating this distinction from the nape part, to form the basis of hair 1, we create horizontal separation. This will be our guide, so your hair is short. We will determine your height here from the nape part by creating one horizontal distinction, starting from the middle part of the hair 1. I create vertical separation, part of the hair we will cut. Finger sharp horse cutting technique. I cut it with a straight scissor stroke. After cutting E, I align the left side section in the same way. Then I align the section on the right in the same way. Here's the back part. Straight 1E sharp line cutting technique. I applied the cutting process. I determined the length of the hair here, and the next layer of 1 guinea horizontal 1. I separate by creating a distinction. After creating this distinction, the guinea, from the middle part, I create 1 vertical separation starting from 1. The hair size we cut before. After seeing it from the bottom by aligning, I cut it and the bottom is the same. I cut it straight one way. Here after forming the basis of the hair. Your hair. Folding process to other parts. I will apply in the next section 1. I will create your angles. Yes, friends. Here, I separate it from forward again. Forward, forward, our customers head forward 1E. From the bottom after applying. E1 I determine it with the hair dye I cut before and cutting process. I'm applying it here. I'm determining the length of the hair. Clear one way. After cutting the same size. E, then creating a distinction again. I will apply the folding process. I determined the length of the hair here. And light on hair. E, I will gain texture. Now I'm going to split it in half again. And nape guinea 1. E this time by creating 1 horizontal distinction. Hair E vertical 45-degree angles. E, it gives texture to the back of the hair. The first technique we cut is to determine the length of the hair. I determined the length of the hair here. And now, as you can see, applying 1 angle of vertical 45 degrees, I will cut your hair first from the hair point I cut. E here, according to the exit direction of 90 hair. 130730 degree 1 angle. I'm lifting your hair up. I cut it, then I will create 1 vertical distinction. Here I see the hair spot I cut before. I'm cutting now. I'm creating 1 vertical distinction here. And E 45 degree 1 from the hair point I cut, creating an angle. Hair cutting continues. As you can see, I determined the hair and point. I cut it at an angle of 45 degrees. Here, we will create a slight bump on the back of the hair. So we will provide 1 light transition with folding process. I cut the left side. Now the right side is the same, forming 45-degree vertical, 145-degree angle. I cut the hair gradually by separating it 1 way. And 1 in the next section. In the same way with a vertical 45-degree angle by seeing the hair point we cut before. Same way. I create the angle after a 45-degree angle. Point cutting technique. E I cut with cutting technique. I created a horizontal angle of 145 degrees here. I see the hair from the hair point I cut before. Here with the point cutting technique. I'm cutting then. At an angle of 45 degrees, I continue my cutting process again. Your guinea hair on the top one, seeing the hair point I cut before, at an angle of 45 degrees, with point cutting technique. With the point cutting technique, I continue my cutting process. I went to the left side of the hair. On the left side of the hair, a guinea, I created one horizontal separation and suitable for hair length on the nape. With a slight 45-degree angle on the sides, as in the front of your hair. Short forward from the neck one, to get the image. Forward at a 45-degree angle. I continue my cutting process. And the second stage E at the top of the hair. With hair length, that is, at an angle of 45 holes. By giving texture. I continue the cutting process, guys. Hair length at the peak here. Based on. I continue the cutting process. Okay. After cutting the left side, the right side is the same. Front of the neck to get a long one look. Point the hair forward as a guide, with finger grip at an angle of 45 degrees. I continue the hair cutting process. We get one view that stretches from the neck to the front. After passing the second stage, diagonal, I made one distinction, and peak hair length as a guide. I continue the hair cutting process with 45 kinds of angles. I apply point cutting technique from here. As you can see, point cutting technique. Here, I comb the hair backwards, and your hair. I make it get one long view towards the front. Now dividing the hair from the peak into two main sections. I will continue the cutting process. I separated the hair in the middle. Right and left. I separated one part from the peak. Her hair is 90 degrees. I lifted it up with one angle and form a 45-degree angle from the end. I continued with the haircut. Then hair, the second part, in the same way. I lifted it at a 90-degree angle toward the exit direction upwards. And as a cut, I created a 45-degree angle, 90-45, so 90 degrees. I lift it at a right angle. I cut the tip at a 45-degree angle. As you can see here, the front of the hair is long, back short and curved one way. Story one way. I gave the appearance. Doing my last count checks. Here is our customer's head. We bend slightly, and I check with a comb. Then I scan backwards. In the nape part, by checking with hair length. I continue to cut. Left side. After applying the right side in the same way. Scanning backwards. With the short in the nape part. Long section in the front. Forming a 45-degree angle by balancing. I continue to cut. As you can see, the front was long. Backs are shorter and curved one way. Layered textured gaining one-y look. I continue to cut. Right and breadth. I'm checking. Ahum here, our haircut is over. By forming one rivety bangs on the front of the hair. We will get a short one look on the front of the hair, and we will finish our transaction. Here, your hair is from eyebrow level. Distinction triangle 1 by creating a distinction eye reception. By creating the motif, I will make one distinction from the front of the hair, creating one straight bangs. I will make it get one beautiful look. Burden. Calculating the E-gap of the nose while cutting the bangs. Again with the point cutting technique, that is, with the point cutting technique. I'm starting the haircut. And the hair slightly upwards. I gain one light bomb by scanning the side. If you want to watch my next videos too, in the videos section of my channel, you can also watch many kinds of incisions videos. So haircut coloring, ombre balayage, perm bun design. I have many categories of videos from there too. You can watch my other videos, my channels, if you want to be aware of new videos. You don't forget to activate the notification bell from my new videos. You activate the notification bell to be notified, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I would be very pleased if you like my video. One next if you like my video. Many people will have watched my video too. Many people will have watched this video thanks to you. Your likes are very important, and if you subscribe to my channel. Thanks to you, our audience will grow more. I wanted to show you the latest version. As you can see, the back is long towards the front. Our bob haircut design occurred. If you want to get a haircut like this, by reaching me on social media and coming to my hall, you can get haircut service. Don't forget to like my video and subscribe to my channel. Hope to see you with one new video. Take good care of yourself. See you.
Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're kind of giving you a shortcut, a real professional one.
Yeah, not just vague ideas.
Exactly. We're looking at the really precise technical steps, how professionals actually execute a super popular cut right now.
The layered cut, the Katla Saskasimi, combined with curtain bangs. Perdikaku.
Right, those curtain bangs everyone wants.
Right.
And our sources lay out, like, the exact choreography.
It really is choreography, like geometry almost.
Mhm.
You know, the difference between a great cut and one that just doesn't work. It's all in that hidden structure.
Okay, so let's get into that structure, that blueprint. The first steps are super specific about, like, landmarks on the head. First step is profile azimuth.
Profile separation, yeah.
For someone not in the know, what does that actually establish?
So think of it as the prime meridian of the head. It's that clean line, straight down the middle, forehead right back to the nape.
Okay.
Splits everything, basically, left and right. Your first big division.
Makes sense. Simple enough start, but hair, especially thick hair, needs more than just left and right, I imagine.
Oh, definitely.
So that brings us to the second one. Tas Iruma, crown separation. Why is that one so vital?
Well, if you skip the crown separation, you lose control right at the top, the apex. And you risk things falling unevenly, weight being off. So the crown separation, you start at the forehead, comb goes tip to scalp, draw that line across to the back.
Okay.
And where that line crosses your first profile line, bam, you've got 4 clear sections, front, back, left, right. It's non-negotiable, really. It's the grid you need to manage everything else.
Got it. A 4-quadrant grid.
Yeah.
Essential. So grid's established. Now we actually start cutting, right? Establishing the length at the back, starting at the nape.
Exactly. You take horizontal sections back there.
And the sources mention one specific section is the temelimiz olkak, the foundation.
Precisely. That first horizontal piece, that's your template. It dictates the entire final length. Everything refers back to that.
And then the layering in the back, it's not just one big chop. It's done in stages, right? Horizontally. 3 stages, the source says.
3 stages.
Why break it down like that? Why not just, cut it all?
Well, that's to avoid what the source calls kabarma.
Kabarma.
Frizz, puffiness. Basically, the ends getting unruly and bulky.
Okay, right.
Especially with thicker hair, cutting too much at once. It compromises the clean line, makes the ends kind of balloon out.
I see.
So doing it stage by stage, using the piece below as your guide, your couleuvres, ensures it all falls smoothly, naturally. It's like you're engineering how it falls.
Controlling the weight meticulously.
Aye.
Got it. Now, there's a small detail here about, posture. For those last sections near the nape, the client tilts their head forward slightly. Is that just for comfort?
No, it's purely tactical for the stylist.
Oh.
That little tilt forward, it lets the stylist clearly see that main guideline against the neck, ensures those lowest layers are cut exactly to the length you set with that first template piece, takes out the guesswork.
Wow, okay.
Oh.
Every detail matters. So back's done, match the sides, and there's another head tilt mentioned. Cutting the right side, the client's head tilts slightly left, away from the side being cut. Seems a bit weird.
Yeah, it sounds counterintuitive, but this one's really about the stylist's ergonomics. It's not changing the hair angle much. It just shifts the head enough so the stylist can get in there comfortably, move easily, and be really precise on that side. Good ergonomics for the stylist means a better cut for the client, ultimately.
Right, makes sense. Okay, foundation's built, length is set. Now for the, maybe the trickiest part. Merging that structure with the softness of the curtain bangs, the perdikaku.
Yes, the transition. That's key.
How do they start creating that famous front triangle shape for the bangs?
So they section off what's called the ala motifi, the forehead or fringe motif, and it has to be a triangle.
A perfect triangle.
A perfect triangle. The shape is critical for how the bangs will frame the face and their density. It's measured really precisely from the outer edges of the eyebrows.
Okay.
Right, up to a point at the top of the head. That specific geometry ensures the bangs fall correctly from the widest part of the face they need to frame.
And this leads straight into customizing it, doesn't it? The source mentions the client had an inverted triangle face shape, wider top, narrower chin.
Exactly. And that immediately tells the stylist how to adjust.
How so?
Well, for that face shape, to get what they call daha yumuşak garuntu, a softer look, so you can't just cut generic bangs. The layering for the bangs has to start right at the cheekbones. Elmaka kimikla rinden.
Oh, okay.
That stops the top looking too heavy and visually balances the narrower chin. It's tailoring the cut to the bone structure.
So it's face framing engineered, not just guessed. And those layers, they're cut at a 45-degree angle.
Yep, 45 degrees.
But here's the bit that sounds really unusual, the chef's secret, maybe? When cutting the right side of the bangs, The stylist stands on the client's left side, the opposite side.
That's the one. Sounds awkward and probably feels a bit awkward too.
Why do that?
It's absolutely crucial for a seamless transition. It prevents the bangs looking blocky or disconnected by standing opposite. The stylist gets a much better angle for pulling the hair across the face and cutting that 45-degree line smoothly. It ensures that short to long graduation is flawless. Cutting from the same side risks making it choppy.
Wow. So that awkward stance makes the difficult look effortless, like you said earlier, the invisible geometry.
Exactly.
Then they check it, comb it forward, make sure that short to long line is clean. Okay, section 3. This tackles a specific client request, right?
Yes, a very common one, actually. The client wanted layers, but only in the front. They were adamant about keeping the back long. No length loss back there.
That sounds tricky. Layer the front, keep the back long. How do you even do that?
This is where a very clever technique comes in. The sabet tazarum chizkisi.
Fixed design line. Okay, that sounds like the key. How does it let them basically cheat length retention in the back?
Right. Think of it like setting a fixed cutting point high up. First, they part the hair diagonally towards the back. Then, they take that whole section, comb it forward, and lift it straight up, like 90 degrees to the sky.
Straight up.
Straight up.
Yeah.
Now, the hair coming from the back of the head is obviously way longer than the hair from the front or the crown, right?
Right.
So when the stylist cuts at that single fixed point, way up high, only the shorter hair, the hair from the front and sides, actually reaches the scissors.
Ah, because the really long hair from the back physically can't stretch that far up to the cutting point.
Precisely. It's naturally protected just by geometry and length. So you get exactly what the client wanted.
Yeah.
Layers focused on the front and sides, but the back length remains untouched. It's genius, really. Managing expectations through technique.
That is clever.
Yeah.
And then the left side is easier.
Much easier. Once that guide is set on the right, they just mirror the technique, using the cut side as the reference. Streamlines the whole thing.
Okay, structure done, length preserved, bangs defined. Now, finishing. Texturizing, softening. Section 4. Thinning shears come out the file makazi on the ends.
Yeah, softening is key after all that precise cutting. Especially with dense hair, blunt layers can look really harsh, like a solid block. The source calls it a kalibir guruntu, like it's made from a mold.
Okay, I can picture that.
So thinning shears, but only on the ends, never near the roots, just to break up that solid line, make it flow naturally.
But they mention avoiding marks, right? Those telltale tracks thinning shears can leave. Is yamasuna engelio. There's a special technique involving twisting.
Yes, the anti-mark technique. So they take vertical sections, top down to the nape, but instead of just snipping straight, the stylist twists the hair section around the comb burgu yapiorum, they say, creates a twist.
Okay.
That twist changes the angle of the individual hairs being cut. So when the thinning shears close, it's not cutting straight across a block of hair. It diffuses the cut, makes the thinning totally invisible. Seamless blending.
Wow, blending without leaving fingerprints, essentially.
Pretty much. And they also use the piquetage technique, which is like point cutting or piquage right on the very tips, sometimes with the thinning shears, sometimes maybe regular shears, depends on the hair's weight. Just takes off that last bit of harshness.
That whole process, that dance between the super rigid structure and the final soft touches must take incredible focus.
It absolutely does.
And then the final step is the blow dry, the phone ishlami. Inward blow dry, it says, to really show off the layers and the shape of the curtain bangs.
Exactly. That final styling reveals the movement and the form you've spent all that time creating. And, as a little bonus detail, the stylist also did the color.
Oh, yeah.
And Yosun Koyu Kumral, intense dark ash brown, which, provides a great canvas to actually see the precision of the layers.
Definitely. So looking back at everything we've covered, it really is this intricate technical choreography, isn't it?
Completely.
From the initial 4-quadrant grid to tiny head tilts for the stylist's access.
Right.
Standing on the opposite side for that perfect 35-degree bang angle.
Yep, that crucial step.
And then using that clever fixed design line to keep the back long while layering the front.
It all connects. The main takeaway for you, listening, is that the beautiful, soft, finished look you see, it's entirely built on these hidden, super precise, sometimes awkward-looking maneuvers. The stylist is basically an architect working with hair, balancing physics and aesthetics.
It really makes you appreciate what goes into a high-quality haircut. We see the end result, but like you said, it's all that hidden geometry and skill making the hard stuff look easy.
That's the mark of real mastery, isn't it?
So here's a final thought for you to chew on. We just saw how a great haircut depends on hidden geometry and specific technical tricks. What other everyday things that you pay for, maybe getting clothes tailored or even watching a barista make your coffee, might rely on complex hidden techniques we just never think about?
Definitely something to ponder.
Agreed. Well, thanks for joining us for this deep dive into the architecture of hair. We'll catch you next time.
Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're peeling back the layers on something really specific, actually. It's highly technical, maybe a bit unexpected. We're looking at the engineering, you could say, of a really masterful haircut. And we're not really talking about fashion trends here. This is more about, well, geometry, blueprints, how absolute precision can actually deliver a kind of fluidity.
That's exactly right. We've got this detailed step-by-step technical guide for really complex blended hair design. And it combines three specific things. You've got a sharp, straight base cut, then those very popular curtain bangs, the paire de caco, and then finally integrating some subtle movement through layering, but very controlled layering.
Okay, so our source material sounds less like a style mag and more like, I don't know, an architect's plan. It details the exact separation lines, the cutting angles, the finishing stuff. So our mission here is basically to decode that blueprint. We want to understand how this really rigid, almost mathematical structure underneath leads to a look that, for you listening, seems completely soft, natural, and flowing. It's like the shortcut to understanding that design precision.
Yeah, you really have to see it as a project. And, well, any good project starts with a solid foundation, doesn't it?
Okay, right. Let's get into that foundation then. Before any scissors come out, the hair needs to be organized. You said the whole design is kind of dictated by just a few key separation lines. How does the guide tell us to, like, map out the head?
Well, what's really interesting here is how the manual immediately sets up perfect symmetry. And it does it using just two essential straight divisions. Think of it like setting coordinates on a map of the skull. These two lines create four perfect mirror sections. And these sections govern every single step that follows.
Okay, just 2 straight lines organize the whole thing. What are they?
So the first one is called the profile separation. This basically dictates the left-right balance. It's a perfectly straight line running right from the start of the forehead at the hairline straight down the middle all the way to the nape. It makes sure that whatever you do on the left side gets mirrored exactly on the right. Simple, but critical.
And the second line, I assume that defines the front and back, where the different parts of the cut are going to happen.
Precisely. That's the crown separation. This one runs straight across the top of the head, connecting one ear right across the crown to the other ear. So once you've got the hair divided by both the profile and the crown separations, you've broken down all that complexity into 4 manageable symmetrical quadrants. It's really the proof that this haircut is first and foremost a structured design. It's pure geometry.
Right. That structure makes sense because the first big job is setting the length in the base. We need that clean, straight cut, the dusas kizimi in the back. Now, the usual problem with the straight cut, as you know, is it can look really heavy or chunky, or what stylists sometimes call mold-like. So how do you get that sharp, clean line without the hair just looking like a solid block?
Okay, so you start the back, right? And you establish the base length using horizontal sections. These are called yate ayrımlar. This is where the precision really kicks in. The source says to use a very sharp, clean technique, sometimes called a sharp cutting technique, using straight scissor cuts. The idea is to get maximum visual density, maximum sharpness, right at that bottom edge.
But hang on, that sounds exactly like the recipe for that heavy blunt look we're trying to avoid. If you cut all the hair in the back like that, won't it just fall heavily?
Yes, that's the core tension, isn't it? And that's exactly why this idea of gradual cutting becomes maybe the single most important detail here. The source is really insistent that the cut must be done in gradual steps. They call it kademeli bishakilde.
So instead of taking one big chunk horizontally, you break it down into smaller bits.
You break it down, often into, say, 3 or maybe 4 really thin horizontal stages. The first thin section you cut acts as the perfect guide, the clavus, for the next thin layer of hair just above it. You're essentially building that straight line, but from the bottom up, layer by tiny layer.
Okay, wait, why? Why is that gradual way so necessary? What's the actual physics behind cutting thin sections versus thick ones?
Right. The reason is critical. It's all about controlling density and making sure it falls evenly, homogeneously.
Yeah.
If you try to cut too much hair at once, the weight and just the different tension across that thick section makes it fall unevenly. And worse, it creates what the source calls that kalup jibi effect, that heavy mold-like block that just doesn't move. By cutting in these gradual thin steps, you let the weight distribute nicely. It ensures that when the hair falls, it falls smoothly, keeps the sharp line visually, but still has some natural swing. It's about building a solid line, yeah, but respecting how hair actually behaves with weight.
That makes so much sense. That's the hidden difference, isn't it, between an amateur straight cut and a professionally engineered one. It's all about managing weight, even when it looks like one simple line.
Exactly. So now we've got that rigid foundation set. Now we can move to the softer part, the face framing element.
This is where the curtain bangs come in. They're perde kakul. Okay, so this needs a specific shape right at the front. How is that defined?
The sectioning here is incredibly precise. You isolate the hair for the bangs using a triangular shape, ushin formunda 1 ayrım. That triangle starts right at the middle part, and it extends back towards that crown separation line we made earlier. But here's the crucial bit. The width of that triangle, where it starts at the front, must begin precisely at the start of the eyebrows. Kaşın and başnoktasından.
Why exactly at the start of the eyebrows? What does that do?
That specific width makes sure the bangs frame the eyes and the cheekbones just right. Too narrow and the bangs look kind of weak. Too wide and they just take over the face. Okay, so once you've got that triangle isolated, the goal is to cut a line that creates a soft guide. It should align roughly with the cheekbones, maybe the tip of the nose. And you get this by cutting the hair at a 45-degree angle. That angle is key for the curve. Kavisli olması gerekiyor.
Right, the 45-degree angle. That's the classic for getting that soft, sweeping curve. But the manual mentions something surprising about how the stylist needs to stand. Body positioning.
Ah, yes. This is the kind of detail that makes this source so interesting. It's super practical. To hit that 45-degree angle comfortably and precisely and do it the same way every time, the stylist actually has to stand on the opposite side of the client.
The opposite side? That sounds completely backwards. Why would you do that?
It's purely about body mechanics. Think about it. If you're standing on the same side as the hair you're cutting, your arm and body are twisted, right? It's physically awkward to hold a perfect 45-degree angle and keep the tension steady. But if you step to the opposite side, like you're cutting the client's right bang, but you stand on their left, it creates a much more natural straight line for your cutting arm. It gives you maximum control, maximum accuracy over that crucial angle. It's almost like a physical requirement for technical perfection.
Wow. That really does make it sound more like sculpting than just cutting. The stylist's own body becomes part of the architecture. Okay, so we've got our sharp, straight base and our softly defined curtain bangs. The next challenge then is blending it all, adding movement, layering Katlandirma, but without losing the length we just carefully established.
Yes, this step is absolutely key to bridging that gap between the sharp base and the soft fringe. The layering has to be light, and like you said, it must preserve that baseline length. The technique here relies entirely on how you lift the projection.
Okay, how is the hair projected or lifted for this kind of layering? Not out, not down.
No, exactly. Instead, the hair is combed straight upwards, towards the ceiling, all of it. And the guide, the calavuz that you use for this layering, is actually the shortest point that was created way back when we did the initial straight base cut at the nape.
Okay, let me picture this. If you pull a strand of hair from the very bottom of the nape, straight up over the top of the head, the hair closest to the scalp is now your guide, but the very ends of that strand, the bit that defines the actual length, are way up high, far from the scissors.
Exactly. You're using physics, really. Tension and angles. When you comb the hair straight up and cut it against that short guide from the nape, you're only trimming the very ends of the hair that actually reach that high point. This technique is called a fixed design line, in the source. By pulling everything straight up to that one fixed point, you guarantee that the lower sections of the length, the boy, remain long and basically untouched. Only the upper bits get lightly layered.
So the aim isn't really dramatic, obvious layers. It's more about just enough internal movement so the hair doesn't just hang there flat.
Precisely. And because it is a light layering process, hafifwan katlandama ishlami, the final shape of the hair isn't some drastic V or U shape in the back. It's designed so that when it falls naturally, it creates more of an oval shape, an oval baigaran too. It's about integrating internal volume and movement really seamlessly with the overall length.
Okay, so we've used the sharp straight cut, the careful 45-degree angle, and now this upward projection for the fixed design line. The main structural work seems done. But let's go back to that base cut for a second. We talked about its sharpness. That precision cutting, doesn't it inherently leave a really hard, maybe too clean edge? The final step must be about softening that up, right?
That is the absolutely critical final step, yes. If we stopped right now, the hair would have that sharp line, maybe a hard look. A keskin one hat and a cert one gurntui. We definitely need to introduce softness, some texture, some naturalness, especially on the ends. This is the texturizing phase. Or inseltme, which means thinning.
Okay, texturizing. How does the technical guide suggest doing this final softening step?
It actually details a combination of 3 different methods, and crucially, they're applied only to the ends, not halfway up the hair shaft. They suggest using FL scissors, thinning shears, efilam akasila, also the twisting technique, burgu teknikidile, where you twist sections and snip into them, and point cutting, pikdash technique. These tools and techniques are all designed to break up those blunt lines we created, but without actually removing length.
Right. But thinning, if it's done badly, can be one of the most obvious mistakes, can't it? Yeah. You can sometimes see those horrible track marks or lines where the bulk was taken out. How does the guide make sure the thinning is, well, invisible?
This is probably one of the most advanced, subtle insights in the whole guide, I think. To prevent those telltale track marks, so it is Yatmamasana Saliorum, the stylist is specifically told to use zert asiler, that means different, opposing angles during the texturizing.
Opposing angles. What does that actually look like? How do you do that?
Well, think about it. If you just thin the hair using one consistent angle, like always cutting straight in, you're essentially creating a hidden straight line of shorter hair within the bulk. That's what shows. By approaching the hair from different angles, maybe one snip vertically, the next one horizontally, maybe the next diagonally into the twist, you make sure that the removal of weight is scattered, it's distributed invisibly through the ends. This variation in angle creates a much more staggered, diffused finish. You get that soft, natural look without leaving any harsh lines behind. It's the final technical touch to soften the rigidity we spent so much time building.
Wow. This has been quite the journey, a real masterclass in seeing hair design as basically applied physics and geometry. We started with just 2 straight lines, the profile and the crown to map the head. Then we moved through that gradual straight cut to control the weight, the opposite side 45-degree stance for the perfect curtain bang, then the upward projection using the fixed design line for invisible layers, and finally, this multi-angle texturizing to soften the whole thing.
And we've seen how this blended design can actually be really versatile. It works for fine hair, thick hair, long, medium, precisely because every single step is controlled by this kind of geometric calculation. The result is a structure that's adaptable. It's not just stiff.
It really is amazing how much meticulous planning, how much structure goes into creating a look that is ultimately supposed to appear just effortlessly natural. So if we step back from all the details of this deep dive, that's the final, maybe provocative thought we should leave our listener with as they think about this blueprint.
I think the real paradox we've uncovered is kind of the heart of the whole design. This really beautiful, soft, flowing aesthetic, the kind that looks like maybe the client just woke up with perfect natural hair. It's entirely dependent on the rigidity of the structure underneath it all. The whole process hinges on these meticulously planned geometric sections. Those profile and crown divisions, the precise triangular fringe, the fixed design line, the perfect 45-degree angles. If you compromise that underlying structure at any point, you actually compromise the final movement and softness. So in a way, the rigidity creates the fluidity. Maybe think about that the next time you see a hairstyle that looks completely effortless. Chances are it took an incredible amount of hidden structure, maybe even some math to get there.
Hello friends, welcome to my channel. To you today, how to make a blunt bob haircut. I will explain it in detail. I will create the basic distinctions first. Our first distinction is profile separation. After creating my profile distinction, also as the second distinction, I will create a crown separation. Profile separation. My forehead present from the beginning. The distinction we have divided to the neck. At the coronation. Comb again. We put it on the crown of your forehead. And from the point where our comb's back touches a crown separation to the distinction we have separated, that is, 1. From ear to ear. The fixed one. The distinction we have separated as a line is called the crown separation. Here the crown separation, the front and back of the hair. Separating two main sections. Profile separation also divides the hair in half, so here we divide the hair into 4 basic E sections. We divide it into 4 basic parts. After dividing it into 4 basic parts in one step, we will apply a haircut to separate it in a gradual way. I'm starting and I'll cut it gradually. Here our first level will be the dye of our model's hair. We will apply 1 straight haircut. So create a blunt haircut, comb 6 for applying it. So we apply the technique of sharp ablution. That is, we also apply it with a straight scissor stroke. There will be 1 straight haircut. Here, E, I will use 1 angle of 0 degrees. So I use my comb as a ruler. Without creating any angle. There will be one haircut suitable for the direction of hair fall. I make our model tilt its head very slightly forward. And here, first, setting our guide, as you can see, without opening the neck too much. And with sharp horse cutting technique, that is, with straight scissor stroke. I'm cutting the first part. Then left side, then right side. This is the first hair I cut. I equate with paint. This hair will be tall, guys. This will be our guide. All in accordance with this guide, we will cut the hair length to the same length. This is our guide, this hair length. We are going to the second stage, as we can see, second stage hair length. I will equal the hair length we cut in the first stage. As you can see here, I reserve the first part. I comb your hair downwards according to the natural combing direction. I tilt our customer's head very slightly forward and using my comb as a ruler 1. With the hair length I cut before, equalizing in the same way. So here I use my comb like a ruler. I align and cut with a straight scissor stroke. Here is the sharpening cutting technique, also named Guinea. I'm separating the first piece from the second floor. This one is the same as the hair size we cut before. I use my comb like a ruler and cut it. But here in every hair I cut, our customer's hair, I make your head tilt slightly forward. Because when it bends too little forward, the angle there makes the hair straighter. And when he gives back, you cut it straight in a blunt way. You can make a mistake there. It has to bend down 1 click. Because when he bends things, it doesn't reveal the little hair at the bottom either. This time, when the customer tilts his head forward, the bottom is like this. One section appears at the bottom, like this protrusion. It's also annoying. You will have to cut again. As you can see, we went to the third stage of the back part. Third stage at the bottom one. The hair point we cut before Guinea in the same way. I keep cutting the same size. In these straight cuts, you can use the same technique. Here only, blunt 1 model here because your hair is short, Blunt straight 1 haircut, design. Here the length of the whole hair is all equal length. Blunt because it will be the same size. Straight blunt haircut. I'm doing the design. Right side, one with the hair point I cut before. Our guide is the same size. Our customer after cutting. I tilt the head of our model to the slightly front part and use my comb as a ruler. One with the hair size I cut before. I say equal here by using my comb as a ruler. I comb the natural fall of the hair correctly without any mistakes. In the same way as the hair point I appeared. I continue my cut by equalizing. I'm asking you here. Don't forget to like my video and subscribe to my channel. Your thoughts too. I would be very pleased if you specify in the comments section of my video. Yes, after cutting the back. We go to the left side of our customer. Guinea head of our customer. Tilting to the right. After bending, behind the ear, before you get over the ear bulge, I divided it into the middle of the ear as you can see, and some behind the ear, I equalize the hair length on the back there. And the next one above the ear, as you can see in the front. Here we equate the ear bulge. And we make one straight cut. If you scan it directly without calculating the ear bulge, and if you cut it straight, when you blow dry, when it dries, the protrusion of the ear appears. And straight one cut does not appear, and please the height of the ear to the top. Prevents hair from being straight at the bottom. So from the middle, right at ear level, to the back of your ear, you take one hair apart and straight from that hair. From the guide we have determined on the back, we cut our hair, and the rest in the front. We equalize the hair from there. And the same in the second level. From the hair point, we cut a donut. We cut it in line. Our customer's hair, stance, angle is very important here. We don't cut straight. We tilt our customer's hair a little and cut it like that. After cutting the left side, we go to the right again in the same way. Our customer's hair length without cutting the first. He light his head, a little according to the posture direction of the hair. We tilt, and after tilting, just like I cut it on the left side, we continue our haircut here. Guinea, you are also like this one. Haircut. And if you want to have other haircut models, I have social media customs in the description part of my video. From here, by reaching me on social media addresses and coming to my hall, haircut coloring, retouching keratin hair care, balayage haircut, and other hairdressing services. You can get service. You can come to my hall and get service. I'm working with appointment. Morning, 10, evening, 6. I can make an appointment between hours. Our place is in Beylikdüzü. After doing my contours here, on the right side and on the left side, I apply my contours and light hair on the front. I'll add some movement, so I'll do some folding on the front. Here, while adjusting the front part, as you can see again from the forehead point of the hair 1, I'm creating a profile distinction. I'm dividing the hair in half. And here, from the eyebrow line, front part 1, forehead motif, by creating the distinction, i.e. triangle 1. I make a distinction. After creating this triangular separation, important feature of triangular separation, right and left T. From the section, because we got it from the eyebrow line, right side and left side. Part 2, intensely taking one way, the right side and the left side. Only from the front without emptying too much. From the part where your forehead is because we make one distinction from the section where the forehead is. The slightly beautiful one movement in the front. And my forager bangs are one point where we can fold. It's okay, I'm creating one nice distinction there too. I cut the right side of our customer. I pass the breadth of our customer I'm adjusting the angle here much better. And as you can see here, your hair is short. After remembering the short point. For cutting by determining my angle. I provide one nice transition from short to long. After cutting the right side, I go to the left side. The left side is the same. I get one guide from the hair point I cut before. And here in my comb, because it's numbered so suddenly. Like a ruler until 20. So when I measure what size I cut, and take one click on the left side and get the same size. At the same time, I'm cutting from the same point, as you can see, so we have created a millimetric 1 design here. It's neither short nor too long. I cut it in the same short. And that shortness too, beginning the same way. 1 eat distinction from left to right. E by creating, so I'm scanning. And I see the hair point and I keep cutting. You too with the join button of my channel. Well, I would be very pleased if you want to support my channel. Thanks to you, my channel is getting bigger every day. And we became a big family. Our 229,000 subscribers. So thanks to valuable people like you, our audience's time is growing. People who don't subscribe to my video, 97 on 100 are watching. I request you, when you watch my video, if you subscribe to my channel and turn on notifications, you will be informed of my new videos. You will watch my new videos without interruption. Friends, make sure to turn on the notification bell of my video. And be aware of my newly published videos. And when you subscribe to my channel, you are also aware of my other videos. And if you want to watch my other different videos, my channel, video section is available from there. Video section. I have 757 videos. I have videos in many categories. You can watch them too. We have come to the end of our haircut, friends. Flat blonde, as you can see. Right in the OMSI field without opening the neck too much. Sheet. We have created a haircut design. You are this style 1. If you want to get a haircut, I'm in Beylikdüzü by contacting me on my social media addresses. Coming to my hall, haircut from me. You can get coloring and other hairdressing services. I'm working on an appointment. I love you. Hope to see you. Take care of yourself.
Welcome back. Today we're diving deep into something that, honestly, it looks like pure artistry, but when you break it down, it's almost like, well, geometry.
Yeah, applied geometry, really.
Exactly. We're talking about the forward angled bob. You know, the one that super crisp, modern cut, shorter in the back, but then it gets dramatically longer towards the face?
Mm-hmm. It's a very striking look.
It really is. But the source material we looked at, it gives this incredibly detailed step-by-step guide. It's all about precise techniques, geometric constraints, really.
Absolutely. And that's our mission for this deep dive, isn't it? To unpack that blueprint.
Yeah.
It's less about just freehand snipping and much more about drafting a structure.
Yeah.
We want to figure out how stylists use these specific techniques to guarantee that angle.
Right. That shorter back, longer front outcome.
Exactly. It's about creating what they call a fixed design. You get a clean cut, that specific angle, volume, a modern shape. But interestingly, without relying heavily on tons of layers inside.
Which is key, I think. Achieving that shape through the cut's geometry, not just by adding layers everywhere, that keeps it looking really sharp.
That's the fascinating part. The technique is the structure. The angle itself generates the volume and the shape.
Okay, so if we're thinking about it like drafting a blueprint, where do we start? It must be the sectioning, right? Before any cutting happens.
Absolutely. That's the foundation. You have to map it out first. It's all about establishing these non-negotiable anchor points.
Makes sense.
So the very first thing is the profile section. Basically, think of it like drawing a line right down the middle of the head.
Good.
A straight line starting right at the front of the forehead, going all the way down to the nape of the neck. That immediately splits your working area in half. Symmetry from the get-go.
Got it. North-south axis, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's this term that sounds quite technical, the frontal motif.
Yes.
It's described as a triangular section at the front. Why that shape? Is there a geometric reason for a triangle there?
There is, actually. It's quite specific. You create this triangle by placing the comb basically at the outer ends of the eyebrows and sectioning inwards.
Okay.
And that triangle isn't random. It's designed to control the weight visually around the face. It helps maximize how much length you can get dropping forward from the temple area. It's calculated.
So that profile line and this frontal triangle, they work together.
They combine to set up the initial guide for the front, yeah. But the real anchor for the whole cut, especially the angle itself, that's established right at the very bottom, at the nape.
Okay, go.
You take a clean horizontal section, usually starting on the left side at the bottom, and that's where you cut your first guide. That sets the shortest point of the entire haircut.
So that's the starting point for the length.
Exactly. And it's critical because that point defines the fixed design aspect we talked about.
Right.
Every single cut you make in the back section after that has to relate back to that initial short length. It's the constant reference. It locks in the shortest point.
Okay, this is where it gets really interesting, I think. The core technique that actually creates that slope, that signature angle.
Yeah, this is the clever part.
Because we're not just letting the hair fall naturally now, are we? We're actively controlling it.
Precisely. We're forcing the angle through technique. This is where the fixed design line concept really comes into play.
How does that work?
So the stylist uses their comb almost like a ruler. Super precise. They take these perfectly straight horizontal sections moving up the back of the head from that first nape guide.
Okay, horizontal section.
Okay.
And the cutting action itself. The source mentioned something counterintuitive.
Right. The hair is combed backward, away from the face.
Backward, toward the nape.
Exactly. It's brought back towards that fixed cutting point, which is either the initial guide at the nape or a point established just behind the ear as you move up.
Why do that? Why pull it back?
Well, think about it geometrically. Imagine that guide point at the back is like the fixed center point of a compass. The hair near the face is like the longest arm of that compass needle. By pulling that longer front hair all the way back to that short fixed point and cutting it there.
You're forcing it to travel a longer distance.
Precisely. So when you release that hair and it falls back to its natural position at the front, it has to be longer. It's swung out the furthest radius from the cutting point.
That makes so much sense.
Ah.
The backward combing creates the angle.
That's the mechanism. Pulling the front towards the back guide is what builds the angled bob shape. It's not freehand, it's engineered by that movement.
Wow. Okay. So the source also mentions using a blunt cut for this, for that really clean, sharp line.
Yes, sharp scissor strokes are important.
But isn't there a risk with blunt cutting like that of creating like a heavy shelf, making it look too blocky?
That's a valid concern, and it comes down to precision. You need the blunt cut for the sharpness, but you avoid the blockiness through control.
How?
Well, first, the hair is combed really taut against the comb itself before cutting. Clean, sharp strokes. But also, crucially, look at the client's head position.
Right. It says they need to tilt their head forward slightly.
Yes, as the stylist works up through those horizontal sections.
Why is that tilt necessary?
It's actually pretty important. That slight forward tilt helps maintain a perfectly straight cutting line relative to the client's posture and neck shape. If the line is cut perfectly straight while they're tilted slightly forward,
then when they sit up straight,
the line falls perfectly clean and sharp against the neck. It prevents the line from kind of curving inwards or looking uneven. Once the head is upright, it keeps the structure pure.
Got it. So this whole process, horizontal sections, coming back to the fixed point, blunt cut, client tilted forward, just gets repeated up the back.
Exactly. You just keep following that initial guide, bringing each horizontal section back to the established cutting point. Same process on the right side, cutting naturally without tension, always referencing that guide. The angle just emerges from doing that consistently.
Okay, so the main structure, that dramatic angle, is now built. Phase 2 seems to be about refining it, right?
Yep.
Making sure it doesn't look too severe or blocky.
Yeah, exactly. Now it's about balancing things out and adding a bit of softness and movement so that strong line doesn't feel completely rigid.
How do they start with that?
Well, first step is usually checking the symmetry. Parting the hair right down the middle lets you see if both sides are hanging evenly.
Makes sense.
But then, critically, you need to consider the client's natural parting, where they actually wear their hair day to day.
Right. Because that affects how the hair falls and where the weight is.
Precisely. So if someone parts their hair on the left, for example, the stylist needs to account for that. They might start the detailing work on the right side which naturally has a bit less volume when parted on the left, just to ensure the final style looks balanced on the client.
That's really practical detail. And then it mentions adding layers, but specifically soft layers.
Yes, very important distinction. These aren't the kind of layers you cut to create massive volume throughout the haircut. It's much more subtle.
So what's their purpose then?
It's about creating a graceful transition, especially at the front where the short back meets the longer front sections, and about adding internal movement.
Okay, and how are they cut? The source mentioned a 45-degree angle.
Yeah, usually starting around the cheekbone area. They take fine sections and cut soft layers at roughly a 45-degree angle.
And that does what visually?
It just helps the hair blend better. It softens that jump from short to long, introduces a bit of texture and flow right where you need it. It makes the hair fall better when it's dry, gives it that little bit of swing without sacrificing the main angled line.
Right, so it softens the geometry without destroying it.
Exactly. And the very final touch is usually some work on the ends themselves.
Point cutting.
Point cutting, that's cutting into the ends, right?
Yes, vertically with the points of the scissors. The goal here is purely to soften the perimeter line. It removes any harshness or bluntness right at the very edge, making it look lighter.
Yeah, it makes the ends appear a bit lighter, less solid, more natural flow. But the key rule here, and it's absolute, is that this point cutting must not shorten the overall length that was established. It's only about refining the texture on the very ends.
Okay, structural work done, angles perfected, geometry refined. What about the finish? Styling.
Well, the haircut is typically finished with a really sleek, controlled blow dry first. You want to emphasize those clean lines initially.
Show off the cut itself.
Exactly. But what's interesting is the source immediately points towards versatility. While the straight look really highlights the precision of that angle, it also suggests adding movement afterwards, maybe using a straightener to create some soft waves.
Oh, okay. So it's designed to work both ways.
Absolutely. It confirms that the underlying cut, that fixed design line, is strong enough to hold its shape and look modern and stylish whether you wear it dead straight, showing off the pure geometry.
Or a bit wavy and softer.
Right. The integrity of the design, that angle, it holds up either way, which is the sign of a really well-executed structural cut. So if we were to kind of boil it all down, the big aha moment for me with this forward angled bob is really the elegance of it all.
Yeah.
How you get this sophisticated shape, not through like guesswork or just tons of hidden layers, but through this really disciplined use of a fixed anchor point, that hinge, like we said, and that slightly weird action of combing the hair backward.
Yeah, that counterintuitive move.
That's what generates the precise length difference. It's basically, applied geometry, Euclidean principles, but used to create style. It's quite brilliant when you think about it.
It really is. Using that fixed anchor to create deliberate, dynamic variation across a surface. It's fascinating how that principle works here in hairstyling.
Yeah.
It makes you wonder, and this is something maybe for you, the listener, to think about. What other complex-looking designs out there rely on this same fundamental idea? Maybe think about architecture, some modern buildings with those sweeping lines.
Or even in fashion, like how patterns are drafted for garments to create symmetry or structure.
Exactly. Where else is this principle of using one fixed point, one constraint, to generate controlled variation across a whole form? It's kind of a fundamental design concept, isn't it?
It really is. Mastering the constraints.
Mastering the constraints often leads to the most compelling results. Well, that wraps up our deep dive into the precise geometry of the forward angled bob. Hopefully that's giving you something new to appreciate next time you see one.
Yeah, hopefully.
Thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you on the next deep dive.
Today you curtain bangs layered haircut. I want to explain our service in detail. Layered haircut here. Curtain cardamom how to do this. You will see in detail. First, we create profile separation later. We will create a crown separation. Profile separation with crown separation. The process of dividing the hair into 4 main sections. We say friends. First distinction, profile distinction. Profile separation from the middle of 2 eyebrows to the straight line that I parted down to the neck. Profile separation. Second also. Crown separation from one ear to the other ear. The distinction we have separated, we call crown separation. Fold the front parts of the hair after the crown separation. Curtain to make cardamom process. We split the hair in half. After this separation, starting from ear levels, We create a diagonal separation from both sides. Then while cutting our customer's E right side, I go to the left and E starting from cheekbones, 45 degrees. We will create a distinction, haircut with a distinction of 45 degrees. So we'll start doing here E profile, E starting from the apple bones. We determine our sword from top to bottom at an angle of 45 degrees. And I cut and the other parts are the same at an angle of 45 degrees after cutting. I scan them all towards myself and I make my cut by creating a single line. Then I will cut the left side. While cutting the left side, I pass to the right side of my customer. The first part of the guinea cheekbones. I cut it so I separate it diagonally. Later. Right? Scanning from left to right. I'm cutting the first part. Then the second part is the same from the right. I'm taking it all alone to the left and cut the previous. From my hair point, I cut our banana the same size. After folding the front, back eye first, we created a profile separation on the right side. We divided the hair into two main sections. I will fold the back in two main sections. Same way again. I'm creating a diagonal separation towards the back. And on the right, piece. For cutting the right part, I go to the left side and the front one I cut first guinea from section right to the left. As you can see by creating a distinction, I was born first cut. Hair point. I cut by specifying, so I scan. This time I'm scanning them all forward. That is at an angle of 45 degrees. Scanning directly to the front, I see the hair spot I cut before. I see the guide, so I equate it with hair length. Both in the front parts here, I equate with the height. I equate with the length in the front. Both. When the blow dry you scatter is taken, when the shape is given the front, hair equality, and long pieces, so that it does not appear at 45-degree angles to the front section. I scan the back with diagonal Ian angles and forward. I'm scanning in the front part again at an angle of 90 degrees for scanning forward. I'm cutting. This side, no. What happens when I scan this cutting process forward? There is a folding process from the front to the back. Because the hair in the front is a little short, there is a cut suitable for the short hair in the front. Hair falls longer towards the back. And folding process on the front and back. We are applying both from the front. We shorten and fold. A hair we see when we throw it backwards. We made a move. And both oval. Here and an oval back. The look was also folded and ovally. We will have a look. This time to check the hair guinea after combing. I comb the hair completely and towards the peak. I lift it up. A check again. Is there an error after checking it? Equalize, and from the ends, I'm cutting. I look at the 3 dots and cut by length. Then, so you know your hair. To apply a folding operation to the foundation, I divide the hair in half with the guinea star technique. And listen piece by piece. As you can see, so neither too thick nor too much. I scan upwards in thin pieces. 90 degrees. And from the ends, with point cutting technique. I apply hair folding. Here with the star technique, a suitable structure for the hair. I'm applying a folding process. As you can see here after seeing the longest point, Herzi point cutting technique. With point cutting technique, I'm applying a folding process. Here I comb the hair and from above, hair 90 degrees according to the direction of hair output, and 45 degrees compared to the length of the hair. I keep cutting with angles. As you can see, 90 degrees, scanning the stone, and the 45-degree point of cut with cutting technique. I continue my process. You too, to support my channel. Don't forget to like my video and subscribe to my channel. Thanks to you, our videos reach many people. And thanks to you watching our videos. Dear friends, my video, thank you so much for watching and subscribing to my channel. Thank you. Our folding process is over, friends. Now to the ends of the hair. With the net scissors, that is, with the scissors we call intermediate scissors, we apply thinning softening process, starting from the front part to the hair auger technique. So I'm twisting the hair and the ends. With intermediate scissors, I'm thinning here at the ends to ensure a more homogeneous fall of the hair. To get a smoother image, I apply thinning process with auger technique. You want to watch my other videos too, if you want, in the video section of my channel. Many kinds of videos. I have videos in many categories. You can watch my videos there too. If you have any questions, description part of my video. I have social media addresses there too. You can ask by contacting me, or in the comment section of my video, leave your questions. I can read them and give you detailed information. You can ask questions. Do you also enjoy layered hair? Curtain cardamom and other EA pixie haircuts, short haircut, bob cut, and other If you want to get services about hairdressing, to my salon in Istanbul Beylikdüzü, you can come. To come too. From my social media addresses in the description section of my video, reaching me by making an appointment, you can get service. I continue thinning the ends of the hair. The reason why I do auger hair when I do thinning on the back and ends. When the hair opens, so we get a more natural look. As you can see, our process is over. Now our forming process, we will apply our process. I will apply a layered moving blow dry process. As you can see, front moving, folded backs. We are with you with a beautiful hair design, friends. If you like my video, I model. If you like the design, make sure to like my video. Commenting and social media. Don't forget to share on your address.
Welcome to the deep dive. Today our mission is really to get into the nitty-gritty, the actual mechanics behind a specific skill.
Yeah, and today that skill is hair design. We're looking at a very technical breakdown of how a pro stylist creates those really popular curtain bangs.
Exactly. The source material calls it peri kuku. We're not just talking styling tips here, we're diving into the blueprint from a detailed tutorial.
It's all about the sectioning, the angles, the specific movements. Think geometry, but for hair. We're mapping out how they build that soft, layered look, step by step.
Okay, so let's start at the very beginning. Before a single cut happens, the stylist needs to map the head, right? Create sections.
Absolutely. It starts with two key separations to establish balance. First is the profile separation. That's a straight line dead center from the front hairline all the way back to the nape.
Got it. Divides the head left and right.
Yeah.
Symmetry.
Then you have the crown separation. This one goes ear to ear, straight over the top.
So 2 lines, profile and crown, and bam, you got 4 main sections, like quadrants.
Precisely. 4 equal parts. And this map is fundamental because every cut that follows kind of references back to these initial sections, keeps everything balanced from the get-go.
All right. Map established. Where does the cutting actually begin?
It always starts in the back, specifically the occipital region, the base of the skull area.
Okay.
That's where the stylist sets the temelboyu, the base length. They take the first horizontal section right there at the nape and make the first cut. This creates the main guideline, the kalavuz.
The kalavuz, okay. And the source mentions a specific technique here, a sharp cut technique.
Yeah, the keskinat kesim teknishi. It's done with a straight, sheer stroke, clean and precise. But the really key thing here is how they move upwards.
How so?
It has to be gradual, section by small section, moving up the back of the head. Katamili, the source, calls it.
And why is that gradual progression so important? Just for neatness? Well, it's more about the hair's behavior later on. The source is clear. Doing it gradually prevents the ends from, like, puffing out or getting frizzy kabarmamasai-san.
Okay. Anti-frizz built right in.
Exactly. If you take too big a chunk, you lose control of the weight distribution. Cutting gradually ensures the hair tips stack and fall smoothly, homogeneously. Think of it like laying tiles, maybe. You need that careful overlap.
Makes sense. Building the structure from the start. So back is done, base length is set. What about the sides? The rule is simple. The last point cut in the back becomes the starting guideline, the kalavuz for the sides. Consistency is key.
Right. But there's something about positioning too, isn't there? Client positioning.
Yes. This is crucial for getting the sides perfectly even. When the stylist cuts the client's left side, they ask the client to tilt their head slightly to the right.
Okay.
And when cutting the right side, the client tilts their head to the left.
Huh. Why the opposite tilt? Wouldn't that make it harder to see?
It seems counterintuitive, but it actually helps the stylist maintain a consistent cutting line relative to the floor. It counteracts the natural curve of the head and how the hair falls.
So tilting the head helps the stylist keep their cutting angle true, ensuring both sides are genuinely equal when the head is upright again.
Precisely. It's about optimizing their position and leverage to get a clean, accurate line without fighting the hair's natural fall.
Wow. So much thought goes into just getting the base length right. Okay, foundation is laid. Now for the main feature. The curtain bangs, perikaku. This involves creating a specific section at the front called the alin motifi, or forehead motif.
And how is that section defined? Is it just grabbing some hair at the front?
Oh no, it's very precise. It has to be a triangular section. Imagine the base of the triangle running along the ends of the eyebrows.
Okay, eyebrows is the base.
And the peak of the triangle goes back towards the crown. The tepinoptasina usually stops just before the highest point of the head. Only the hair inside that triangle becomes the bangs. So the size of that triangle dictates how thick or fine the bangs are. Got it. Once isolated, how do they start the cut? What determines that characteristic sweep? It all comes down to one angle, 45 degrees. The first guideline cut for the fringe starts near the cheekbone, elmachet kemiklerin and Baishla de Nukta. The hair is lifted and cut at exactly 45 degrees. 45 degrees, that's specific.
Absolutely. It's the magic number. It ensures the shortest part of the bang blends smoothly into the longer face-framing layers.
Yeah.
Too shallow, no sweep. Too steep, it looks chunky.
And this brings us back to the stylist's body positioning again, doesn't it? Because cutting this angle involves another sort of weird stance.
It really does. To cut that 45-degree angle accurately on the right side of the client's bangs, the stylist physically moves over to stand on the client's left side.
Okay, so they cross over.
Yep. And to cut the left side of the bangs, they move to the client's right side. There's essentially cutting across the client's center line.
Why do that? Why not just stand directly in front of the section you're cutting? Seems more straightforward. It's necessary for achieving that smooth blend, the homogen geshis the source talks about. It sets up two things, the 45-degree angle, obviously, but also something called cross-combing. Cross-combing, what's that?
Before they cut, they comb the entire triangular section, not just up, but over towards the opposite point, zit nuktasina tariorum, away from where it will naturally fall.
Wait, hold on. You comb the hair you're about to cut over to the other side of the head.
Exactly. You're stretching it away from its home base, so to speak. This stretching, combined with that crossbody stance and the 45-degree cut, forces the hair. When you release it, it naturally springs back and creates that soft, graduated curve that blends seamlessly.
Wow. So you're preloading the direction into the cut, using tension and angle and body positions, like engineering the curve before it even happens.
That's a great way to put it. It's deliberate manipulation to create that effortless look.
Okay, fringe masterpiece complete. Now what about the rest of the hair? The source talks about layering, kalendurma, to add movement without losing the overall length.
Yes, and this layering technique is probably the most unexpected part for many. To get that layered look, kalagurnumu, you might think you lift the hair straight up or back.
Yeah, that seems logical.
But no. To create these specific light moving layers, the stylist combs the hair forward and upward, towards the client's face and slightly up, then cuts with a straight shear stroke.
Forward and up. Okay, let's trace that. You pull hair forward, cut it, and then when it falls back.
It does the opposite. Haircut, while pulled forward, creates layers that fall backward away from the face. It uses the head's shape to create this effect.
Ah, interesting. So shorter layers naturally form around the front and blend into longer layers towards the back?
Exactly. This creates that haraketli, or moving effect. It ensures the bangs flow beautifully into the rest of the style.
And the big advantage, I assume, is preserving length.
That's the key reason cited. Pulling forward and up results in fewer layers, daha az katların oluşması, compared to, say, pulling straight up from the crown.
So you get movement, but you keep the substance and length of the hair.
Precisely. It's controlled movement, not aggressive chopping. It maintains the integrity of that base length set right at the start.
Okay, so it's a very specific method for a subtle result. Once all the cutting is done, base, fringe, layers, is there a final check?
Yep. There's a quality control step. Check balanzion timile, the check balance method. The stylist will lift sections again, comparing the lengths, especially at that longest point, the original base length, just to ensure everything graduates smoothly and is consistent. Makes sense. Double checking the work, and then finishing touches.
Right. They usually soften the ends with point cutting, nuktikizin techniquel, just to avoid any harsh lines and add a bit of texture.
And the final styling. Crucially, the blow dry, the fun. It's directed outward, dushadoru haraketli one fun. This pushes the hair away from the face, enhances that sweep and movement, and really brings the whole curtain bang style to life. So when you really break it down, what we've seen is that this seemingly simple, flowy style is built on really precise geometry and, honestly, physics. Every section, every angle, every body position, it's all intentional.
It really is an architectural approach. That clavuz, that guideline, is everything. So, what's the takeaway for you listening? Understanding these steps, the triangular aldamatifi, the 45-degree roll, that counterintuitive forward layering it shows that even effortless looks are, well, deeply engineered.
Yeah, it's about controlling how the hair falls, often working against its natural tendency.
And that leads us to our final thought. Think about how the stylist in our source material literally changes their physical position, moving left to cut right, crossing the midline to get the perfect angle. They leverage their body position for a cleaner result.
So the question for you is, where are you standing in your own work or field? Is your current viewpoint, your current stance, the most effective one? Maybe achieving a better, more homogeneous result isn't about more effort, but about shifting your perspective, finding a different angle, maybe even standing somewhere completely different to get the leverage you need.
Hello friends, welcome to my channel. I'm with you with a new video. To you today, how to do blunt haircut. I will explain it in detail. First, we make profile separation. Profile separation your neck from the beginning of your forehead. We applied until the end. We call the straight line profile separation. If the second E distinction. E. Crown separation from one ear to the other. We also apply this distinction. When we apply this distinction, we divide the hair into 4 main sections. We make a straight distinction from the back again. After separating the 4 main sections, hair gradually starting from the neck, with sharp horse cutting technique. Her hair here, creating sharp lines. Create a straight cut and get a blunt look. Here with the comb 6 hair cutting technique. As you can see, comb with 6 hair cutting technique. We apply a straight cut E. Burden. We determine the length of the hair in the first level we cut. This size affects the whole course of your hair. And so this is our guide. By following this guide, we'll cut all the hair the same size. HH. If you want to watch my other videos too, my channel, I have many category videos in the videos section. Guinea comb after cutting his neck. With hair cutting technique. As you can see, using my comb as a ruler and following the previous haircut height, I continue cutting on the same plane and cut in the same way as the second stage. I'm so sorry I went to this third level. Guinea sweat left with hair cutting technique, using my comb as a ruler, using the spot where I cut my previous hair, and I continue my haircut. I continue my cutting by creating a straight line. Here, I use my comb in light color. Our hair color is dark E. Comb haircut comb use is also very important. E if you use a comb according to the color of the hair. Very comfortable in the cut E. You watch on the road. I recommend this to you as a footnote. As you can see, the hair point I cut before. Again using our comb as a ruler, we continue our haircut. Gradually separating the hair. Creating horizontal separations. And sharp horse cutting technique with straight scissor stroke. Using our comb as a ruler. We will get a blunt look. We use our comb like a ruler. And we continue our cutting. The hair color of the cut comb you used here. We stated that it should be compatible. If the hair is dark here, a light comb. If the hair is light, you can choose a dark comb. While cutting, make sure your scissors are specific. Certain scissors make clearer cuts and helps you cut hair without shredding. This is too when you cut your customer. So when the next month comes, it will tell you that your hair grows healthier. As you can see, the backstage is completely. We cut it with the first size we cut. Now we go to the left side. We will cut the sides. Here is to 2-stage chestnut hair. Here is the head of our customer first, adjusting the stance distance. And here, combing hair. As you can see, from the hair point we cut before, taking our guide, we continue our haircut from here. VE. From the first hair point we cut, following our guide, on our side, I keep cutting. After cutting the left side, the right side is also. We cut 2 stages. Our budget hair, E. I'm adjusting the stopping distance of the head of our budget, and as you can see, following our guide. We continue our cut, here by taking the space in your ear and touching it with scissors. This is also very important. We continue our cut after receiving. Here at the bottom, after checking our guide, I keep cutting our hair point. To the front of the hair after cutting the basic length of the hair. We will earn some read, hereby creating distinctions from the line of the forehead and eyebrows. So E, by creating a separation of purchase motif. I'm creating a triangular E distinction here. My eyebrows here, E from the starting end point of your eyebrows, E. Starting from 1. And E our customer's E cutting section. Standing on the diagonal. I separate and we continue our cut. I'm applying 45-degree angles here. And the first hair point I cut as a guide. I keep cutting, providing a nice pass in front. Here cartoon bang curtain bangs, to get a look we call. We made our distinction and we continue our cutting process. After cutting the first part, I moved to the second part. Here is our comb. I'm measuring the hair point I cut before. And the same. I cut in inches. And gradually again at 45-degree angles. I continue to cut. As you can see, we got a blunt look. All hair length with moving fronts is the same size. A Kurdish hair design. If you want to get a haircut like this, coming to my hall, by appointment, you can get the same style haircut service from me. You can get a haircut Don't forget to like my video and subscribe to my channel. Hope to see you.
Welcome, curious minds, to the deep dive. Today we're getting into something that looks, well, maybe simple from afar, but is actually packed with craft. We're talking about mastering the short-layered haircut. Our source is this really great video tutorial that meticulously breaks down every single move. So our mission today, it's not just listing steps. We want to really unpack the actions, reveal the artistry behind it, and maybe decode some of that technical language, because it's way more than just like grabbing scissors.
Yeah.
Right? So let's get into it. What actually goes into making a short-layered haircut look so structured, yet somehow effortless?
It's fascinating, isn't it? Because that effortless look, it's completely built on precision. We're talking specific angles, really exact parts, and this whole sequence of layering techniques that are just, well, fundamental to getting the look right. It's definitely more than cutting. It's almost like engineering a style, crafting the shape where every single snip counts towards the final movement.
Right, like engineering. And I guess like any big project, you got to start with the foundations, even before you cut anything. The tutorial kicks things off by parting the hair down the middle. And it stresses this isn't just any part, it's the foundational part.
The main axis, basically.
Exactly. Then comes the profile part. For this, they make a horizontal section, starting from the crown, the high point, all the way down to the nape.
The nape being the very bottom of the hairline at the back.
Right, the back of the neck. So you have that middle part, then this horizontal one, that's the blueprint. They say it's got to be spot on.
And that precision right at the beginning, is it really that critical? Like, can't you adjust a bit later?
Well, that's the thing. The source implies these parts are like architectural drawings.
Okay.
If you mess up here, it echoes through the whole cut.
Yep.
It makes fixing things way harder down the line.
Yeah, that makes sense. So that perfectly straight part they mentioned isn't just stylistic, it's structurally necessary.
Absolutely. It sets the whole geometry, the balance, before any hair is even cut. It's like the stylist's compass for the whole thing.
Okay, so the blueprint's down. What's next? Moving from drawings to, like, the first actual piece.
Exactly. Building the first guide section. This is what sets the length for everything that follows. So after that profile part at the nape, they take another horizontal section, isolating just that bit of hair.
Yeah.
And then starting right in the center of that section, they make a perfectly straight cut. This cut is everything. It immediately becomes the first guide section, our first layer, essentially.
Right.
And this is where you really see the importance of having a guide. It becomes the benchmark, the reference point for all the length across the back.
So how does that work exactly? How does this one little cut manage to guide the whole rest of the haircut?
Well, the guide section is basically the first piece cut to length, right?
Uh-huh.
And then the stylist just keeps going back to it, measuring each new section against that first one.
Ah, okay. So it ensures everything flows together, stays consistent, no random short or long bits.
Precisely. It guarantees that continuity, stops it looking choppy or, disconnected.
Which is obviously crucial. So how does that play out as they move up the back of the head?
It's pretty methodical. For the second guide section, they just continue the process, literally using that first cut section as the guide to follow.
Okay, makes sense.
The technique they show is quite specific. Start in the middle, cut that second section straight, matching the guide, and then work outwards, left then right. And the tutorial specifically mentions using the finger over finger technique and sharp scissor strokes. So it's a very controlled way of holding and cutting.
Finger over finger. Can you maybe explain that a bit more? Like, what does that actually do?
Well, imagine your fingers acting like a ruler. Yeah.
Okay.
Holding the hair taut, flat, at the exact same angle as the guide section underneath. It keeps the tension really consistent.
Ah, so it stops the hair shifting around while you cut, even though hair naturally wants to move.
Exactly. It's how you ensure each new section perfectly matches the length of the one before it, keeping that layer consistent. It's like a physical trick for measuring on something that isn't static.
Got it. A way to control the uncontrollable, sort of.
Yeah, kinda. And this whole process, sectioning horizontally, starting in the middle, following the guide, finger over finger, it gets repeated. For the third horizontal part, same deal. And then the final section at the back. Always starting central, always watching that guide.
It sounds almost ritualistic. That repetition is key for uniformity across the whole back.
It really is. I mean, watching it, you realize how much precision goes in. I used to think haircuts were just, a bit of snipping here and there.
Yeah, definitely more to it than that.
So, okay, the back is meticulously layered and shaped. Now we move to the front. Right. the parts that frame the face.
Which is often what people notice first.
Totally. So how does the guide system work for the front? Is it the same?
A little different here. The tutorial says they use the starting points of the eyebrows at nose level as the reference. This helps them create a vertical part, which forms a sort of triangular shape right at the front hairline.
A triangle. Interesting. So that triangle is the guide for the face framing.
Yeah, that specific section sets the length and angle for the sides.
And how do they cut it? The video mentions something about angles.
Right, so when cutting the right side of the face, the stylist actually moves over to the client's left side.
Oh, okay, to get a better view.
Exactly. From there, they can clearly see that guide point in the triangular section. They comb the hair down and cut the layers using a 35-degree angle, working from top to bottom.
45 degrees. Why that specific angle?
Well, that 45-degree angle is what creates softness. It makes the layers cascade or blend into each other, rather than forming a hard, blunt line. It builds that movement right around the face.
Ah, so it's deliberately chosen for that softer blended effect? Makes sense.
Precisely. And then they just mirror the process for the other side, move to the client's right to cut the left side, maintaining that same 45-degree angle.
And does the angling stop there, or?
No, there's a bit more. They also apply layering from the apex.
The highest point on the head.
Yeah, the top curve. From the apex down towards the ear level and blending towards the back, they also use that 45-degree angle referencing that front section.
Wow. Okay. So it's all interconnected, flowing from that initial front guide.
It really is. It ensures the front and sides blend seamlessly into the work they did on the back. And that client positioning, moving around them, it's not just for comfort.
Right. You said it helps maintain the angle and perspective.
Yeah, ensures accuracy. Makes you wonder, like, what if they used a 90-degree angle there?
Ooh, yeah. You'd get something much more dramatic, maybe disconnected looking. Less soft, for sure.
Definitely less soft. Probably quite severe.
Okay, so back foundation, check. Face frame, check. Now we're on to what the source calls the art of the crown. Sounds important.
It sounds like the most complex part, judging by the description.
It seems like it. The stylist starts by making a big U-shaped part around the crown area. And this basically divides the hair into two main zones. A top section inside the U and the bottom section outside it.
A major division then. Probably for managing bulk and flow up there.
That sounds right. So first, they tackle layering the bottom section, the part outside the U. They create vertical parts starting from the left side. Then the hair is combed out following its natural growth direction. But here's a key difference. It's held at a 90-degree angle from the head.
90 degrees. Okay, so straight out from the scalp.
Exactly, straight out.
And that angle, what's the purpose of that specific lift?
Well, that 90-degree lift is what builds internal volume. It creates, like, hidden layers underneath that give the hair body and movement from within. It stops it looking flat.
So that's how they get that movable quality they keep mentioning. It's not just the visible layers.
Right, it's the internal structure. And they use the lengthly cut on the bottom section as my guide. So again, building on previous work.
Always referencing back.
Always. And they mention using the point cutting technique here to match the guide.
Point cutting. It's snipping into the ends, right? Not cutting straight across.
Yeah, exactly. It softens the edge, helps it blend better, gives it texture.
So it avoids any hard lines inside the layers.
Seems like it. And this whole process vertical part, comb out at 90 degrees, use the guide, point cut is repeated really carefully, strand by strand, section by section, moving left to right around that lower crown area.
That 90-degree angle is so fundamental for volume. I remember when I was learning, getting that consistent lift straight out from the head. It looks simple, but it's kind of tricky to do perfectly section after section. That's where the practice really shows.
I bet. Okay, so that's the bottom section of the crown layered for volume. What about the top section, inside the U?
This sounds even more detailed.
It is. The tutorial says the middle and top section, the crown itself, is cut in 3 main sections.
3 sections just for the top.
Wow. After dividing it vertically down the middle first, so 3 parts to handle. For the middle one of those 3, they start from the back, again using the length underneath as the guide. Comb the hair up at that 90-degree angle again, and use point cutting on the ends. But here they mention cutting it in a first and second level.
First and second level. What does that mean?
It seems like they address the back part, that middle section first, maybe for internal structure, and then refine the front part of the same section to make sure it blends smoothly whether the hair falls forward or back.
Ah, like sculpting it in 2 passes almost.
Yeah.
Very precise.
Very. Then for the second section on the left side, they comb it upward, 90 degrees again presumably, and use point cutting. And finally, the right side. This is also cut in 2 levels. They use the first cutting point from the middle section as the guide for the first level.
Okay, connecting it all.
Yeah. Then they comb the hair upward at 90 degrees for the second level and make the final point cuts.
The real genius there seems to be how that 3-part division and the 2-level cutting creates that perfectly blended top layer.
Right.
It's all about distributing the weight and length so carefully that you avoid any, steps or visible lines. Everything just flows together naturally.
It prevents that blocky, heavy look you can sometimes get on top.
Exactly. It's this intricate dance of angles and layering to get that seamless, fluid result. Pretty amazing stuff.
Phew. Okay, after all that detailed layering, surely they must be done.
Almost. There's one last crucial stage, the quality check and the final styling.
Ah, quality control. Makes sense. What do they do?
The stylist specifically says they comb the hair upward to check for any mistakes. It's like the final inspection.
Looking for any little bits sticking out?
Yeah, any small unevenness or irregularities. If they find any, they tidy them up using that point cutting technique again.
Softening those edges one last time.
Exactly, perfecting the blend. And then, once everything is perfect, comes the styling.
And how do they style it?
Because the whole point was to create a movable, layered cut. They blow dry it with outward movements.
Outward, to show off the layers.
Precisely. To really demonstrate that movable and layered appearance. The drying isn't just about getting it dry, it's about showcasing the result of all that work.
The grand reveal.
Pretty much. And the result. A layered, movable, short hair design has emerged.
You know, looking back at the whole process, it really puts that final blow dry into perspective.
Absolutely. It's not just drying the hair. It's the moment where all that hidden skill, every single precise cut and angle, becomes visible. It shows why the hair moves the way it does.
It reveals the architecture underneath.
Perfectly put. It turns the static cut into something dynamic and alive. Without that final styling touch, a lot of the artistry would just stay hidden.
So, reflecting on this whole journey, we've gone from those foundational parts, setting guides, meticulous angles, point cutting. It reveals just how much goes into what looks like an effortless style.
It's definitely not effortless to create.
No. It shows that this kind of result isn't just about having good hair. It's a testament to incredible skill, foresight, precision. Just like in any complex craft, really.
Which brings up a bigger point, doesn't it? Beyond just this haircut, what does this deep dive show us about craft itself?
How so?
Well, it shows how these tiny, almost invisible details, the exact angle, the precise part, the type of cut, when they're executed flawlessly, they all add up. They coalesce into something singular, dynamic, and beautiful.
That's a great way to put it. It's the sum of all those tiny, perfect steps.
Exactly. It's about that power of deliberate, skilled execution making the difference, whether it's hairstyling or, building a bridge.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for joining us on this very detailed deep dive into the short layered cut. Hopefully next time you see a really great short haircut out there, you'll have a new appreciation for the hidden details, the planning, and the sheer precision that likely went into it. Until next time, keep looking closely at the crafts around you. You might just be amazed at the artistry you uncover.
Hello friends, welcome to my channel. I'm with you with a new video. Curtain bangs for you today. Hair design and how to make a straight haircut design. I will explain in detail. I created these first. I created your profile separation. After creating the separation of profiles, I created the coronation. And after creating that distinction, her hair is from behind E. Straight haircut by creating horizontal separations of hair. I started the cutting process. Friends, first of all, I cut it gradually. After creating the first E horizontal separation, I determined the length of your hair and haircut with the sharp horse cutting technique. I cut it with a straight scissor stroke, and as a second tier, again, in the hair point I cut before, I determined the length of the hair in the same way as the guide. I cut it straight. I divided the back part of the hair, or the hair, into 4 main sections. I cut the first part, and now I switched to the second part. The second part is the same to the hair point I cut before. In parallel, so E, same hair point. So I continue. And head to the cutting process, I continued and continue. As you can see here, I cut the hair straight, the back part backwards. I cut the back straight. Then I went to the side head of our customer. After setting the stop point at the back, taking a piece of the hair point I cut the side straight in the same line. Here, the foundation of the hair will be straight at the bottom. Applying the folding process to the front of the hair. Curtain bangs design. I will apply the haircut. Here is the hair straight after cutting the length of the hair. By creating a profile distinction, I separate it from the middle part of the hair. Bangs usually your hair. We start our process by separating it from the middle part. Later, starting from eyebrow height, your hair, I will fold the front part. I will do the construction work. I separate the sections as you can see, and your hair. Passing to our customer's left side while cutting the right side. By applying an angle of 45 degrees. I'm starting the cutting process, guys. As you can see, after cutting the first operation, in the second operation, down to 45-degree angles. I keep cutting. As you can see here, the curtain by folding the front part. Bangs hair design. I'm creating. I went to the other process. Here again. After cutting the left side now, I went to the right side. But by crossing the right of our customer, I cut the left side. Here is the hair point that I cut before. Take my guide. Measure my hair from there. I start the cutting process after measuring your height. As you can see, our customer. Because I cut the right side of our customer, I went to our customer's right because I cut the left side, and the cutting process continues, folding the front parts with 45 degrees of pane. And fold the front parts. I help her get a moving look. And as well as other process. Now the back parts and the front parts. I also started folding the back parts and our customer while folding. My folding process by separating slice by slice. I continue. Here I always check my guide First by taking my guide from the hair point I cut. Hair according to the output of the hair, creating an angle of 90 degrees. I'm folding. Here according to the structure of the hair, separating slices. I continue the cutting process. From the top of the hair, lifting upwards. Your hair is up by forming a 90-degree angle. As well. Point cutting technique. I continue my process by applying point cutting technique. Yes, friends, as you can see, it was a beautiful haircut design. You also have this kind of floor. If you want to do it, come to my salon. You can get haircut service. Your social media address. It will be in the description part of my video. Reaching from there and coming to my left side, you can get a haircut service. Don't forget to like my video and subscribe to my channel. I will be with you guys with new videos. I wish you a good day.
Hello friends, to you today. Bob Haircut. I will explain in detail how the design is made. We divide our model into 4 main sections while Bob Haircut, profile separation as the first main part, Profile separation 1. Starting from the middle of the eyebrow to the straight separation we have separated until the
Profile
end.
separation.
2 separation, crown separation. From one other ear to the other ear, we have separated. We call the straight line the crown separation. With this distinction, we divide the hair into 4 main sections. After separating 4 main sections, starting from the nape part, we will cut the hair in 4 stages. The back part first. Sharpening cutting technique. We will determine the length of the hair, which is the first stage with Guinea sharpening cutting technique after determining the height. En sedan, sharpen, cutting the section. After revealing the length of your hair, this dye is suitable in one way, progressively to the hair at 45-degree angles. We will apply a haircut, what we call gradation bob cut on the back, that is, the hair, to add movement and volume to the back of the hair to provide natural 1E transition. Folding. We will apply a folding process with 45-degree angles. Your hair in the first place, at an angle of 0 degrees to determine his height. Hair. We determine the neck from the nape part. This is the basis of the hair. We determine the length of the hair. Hair a second stage. We separate Guinea horizontal. I create 1 distinction. And from the middle part of the hair, after creating horizontal separation, we'll create a distinction. The hair point we cut from the bottom 1 by forming 1 angle of 45 degrees by taking guide. We continue our cut in this nape part, creating vertical separations. Nape part. I cut it at 45-degree angles. If you want to get a haircut like this, coming to my hall from me, you can get haircut service. Our hall is in Istanbul, Beylikdüzü. Social media addresses are available in the description my hall section from here. Of my video. You can get hair cutting services and hairdressing services. Back part. With horizontal vertical separations. I keep cutting with a 45-degree angle. Here by separating the hair slice by slice. Cutting the stain piece by slice. And check the hair point we have cut before from the bottom. We continue our cutting, as you can see on the back, creating light coats. In hair. So we call bomber, make the hair look beautiful, and we ensure that the back of the hair is folded. We created the second distinction. First division was a straight division, second division, and third division, third distinction. Hair at 45-degree angles to the Guinea. According to output direction, we create a 90-degree separation and the hair comes out. Direction after. We also create a 45-degree angle as a cut. When forming the 45-degree angle, the hair point we cut first. We continue as a guide, friends. This distinction with the hair points we cut before. We continue our process by combining. If you want to watch my other videos, my channel. There are many categories of videos in the video section. By reaching here, you can also watch my other videos, as you can see. Forming distinctions and at an angle of 45 degrees. From the inside out. We continue our haircut by creating layers. Here I fold the back of the hair as a basis first. And in the next process, your hair. On the left and right sides, equating each other. We create our bob haircut design. We're coming to the tray part, as you can see, after coming to the part of the Guinea vertical by creating a distinction bottom to top 45, forming an angle of 45 degrees from inside to outside. I continue the haircut. For your information, I cut the hair by separating it slice by slice. As you can see, the gradient will form the 3 shape. At the back, Layers formed and a beautiful image occurred. I come to the left part of the hair after cutting the back part, and from here creating a diagonal 1 distinction, a short on the back and short on the front, creating a light 45-degree angle that from the neck to the front light space, light ear pandgay, to get one extending view, with 45-degree finger grip E. I keep making sure, then I comb the hair back. The front part of the hair is a little longer because I combed it backwards. I will appear, here I equate with the shortness in the back. And I keep getting certain. My finger grip here is slightly 45 degrees, not straight. Suitable for the slope of the hair, suitable for the model of the hair. From the neck to the front, light 45-degree angles with sharp horse cutting technique with finger grip. I cut it with a straight scissor stroke. After this cutting process is finished, I'm going to the other part. I'm going to the right guinea the same way. Left side, well, the technique I applied is diagonal again, with cross separations. I comb the hair back to form. And by creating an angle of 45 degrees as a finger grip, with the clamp on the back, the length of the front, equalizing by creating a 45-degree angle. Here I comb the hair slightly backwards. And after scanning the front part slightly backwards, again with a 45-degree angle, I continue the hair cutting process. Here is the appearance of your hair from the neck to the short front. To achieve a slightly elongated one appearance, graduation bob here. We can also describe it as cutting, folded back to the front. One haircut with lengthening transitions. We create the process. You guys are bob haircut too. Other haircutting techniques, also from the subject. So if you want to get a haircut, you can come to my salon and get service from me. Our place is in Istanbul Beylikdüzü. Yes, the front of the hair. Want to add some movement. In the front. Suitable for natural separation. I made the distinction and I'm separating. And by doing the heel control, stretching forward from the nape part, I will create a 45-degree angle again. I created the distinction here from the top part. Do we have a mistake or not? We will check it and get it from the neck. At an angle of 45 degrees, to come from short to long. I equalize the hair as you can see the top distinction. I'm creating a distinction from the joke parts with one address. And after creating the adenolar distinction again, from the shortest point, I see the hairline we cut on the back. My guide, our guide 1 hair point we cut before. After cutting this point, creating an angle of 45 degrees, I continued cutting. After doing this, friends, your hair, to the hair to ensure their transition, I will apply blocking. So hard appearance on 3 parts of the hair, more natural than transitional to achieve one. To get the pass, I use E-file scissors to get, that is, 1 scissors of hair that we call intermediate scissors, separating it gradually as if cutting it again. Starting from the neck, I will apply thinning to the hair. As you can see here, I separated the hair from the first point I cut, and her hair is 45 degrees guinea, hereby creating an angle, cross point. So I apply thinning to the hair with the cutting technique. I'm not hitting a straight scissor blow, but a diagonal E way. I pass the hair by applying scissor blows. Don't thin the hair as you can see here. Go to the process E hair. I'm applying the pictus technique to the hair here. Thinning the ends of the hair, not the bottoms of the hair. end parts of the hair, providing their transitions. Your hair is more homogeneous. Begin. To provide passage, I applied a thinning process. This process, after applying it, by applying one beautiful blow-dry process to the forming process, we will not have completed the hair design of our model. Friends, you too. If you like my video, don't forget to like my video and subscribe to my channel. Thanks to you, our videos are watched more and more every day, and our channel is getting bigger every day. For watching my video and subscribing to my channel, thank you so much. See you with one new video. Take good care of yourself. Hope to see you. I wish you a good day. See you soon.
Okay, so if you've ever tried cutting hair, maybe your own, maybe someone else's, or even just watched a stylist, you know that feeling, right? Trying to get that perfectly straight line.
Oh, yeah. That geometric precision. It's tougher than it looks.
Way tougher. We're not talking looks straight enough. We mean like laser level straight. So today, we're diving into some source material that honestly flips the script on how you achieve this.
It really does.
It's not about fancy scissors or some kind of, innate freehand talent. This is, well, it's almost mechanical, industrial even.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
Our source is basically this really detailed video transcript and instructional guide on how to get that impeccable line using just a standard shaver or clipper.
Right, the kind you might think are just for fades or buzz cuts.
Exactly. And our mission here is to really unpack this specific method. What's fascinating, I think, is how it shifts the focus. It's less about the stylist's feel for it and more about setting up this rigid engineered system. Using physical constraints to guarantee that straight line, almost taking the human variable out of it.
And that tells you immediately, if you're listening, that most of the work, the real work, happens way before any cutting starts.
Absolutely. This whole method hinges on like two key things. Very specific prep work to get rid of any variables in the hair itself, and then this unique two-part system to hold the hair completely still.
Yeah. They essentially turn the hair from something flowing into, well, like you said, almost like a block of wood you can measure and cut precisely.
Okay, so let's break down that foundation first. The prep. Because, as the source makes clear, if you mess this up, forget it.
Right.
It's non-negotiable. The guide is emphatic. The hair must be blow-dried perfectly straight and smooth first. They use this term, doomdoos purusus, which means...
It's more than just straight. It implies, like, flawlessly sleek, utterly smooth, zero waves, zero frizz, perfectly uniform.
Okay, but why? Why is that so critical? Couldn't you just, comb it really straight right before you cut? That's a great question. And it gets right to the physics of hair, really. If there's even a tiny bit of wave or texture left, when you release that hair from the comb after the cut, it's going to spring back, even a little bit. And poof, there goes your perfect line.
Okay.
The blow dry forces every strand into its final resting state before you cut. You're basically standardized in the material, eliminating all those little variables like shrinkage or natural movement.
Got it. Preparing the canvas, essentially. But it's not just the hair, is it? The source also talks about how the client sits.
Yes, exactly. Client posture. Before any cutting happens, they ask the client to tilt their head forward slightly. Hafif oneşemesini istiyoruz is the phrase used, just a subtle lean forward.
And why that specific positioning?
Well, it's all about controlling the geometry again. Think about cutting fabric draped over something round, like a shoulder.
Okay.
Naturally get a curve, right? So by leaning the head forward, the hair hangs away from the curve of the neck and back slightly. It creates a flatter plane to cut against gravity.
Okay, I think I see.
Then, when the client sits up straight again, that perfectly straight line hangs correctly, draping nicely across their back. It's anticipating how gravity will affect the hair in its final position.
So we've standardized the hair, that perfect blow dry. We've standardized the cutting plane, the forward lean. Now the next big problem is movement.
Right. Any tiny shift, hair's moving side to side, it ruins the line. And this is where the real kind of aha moment of this whole technique comes in, I think.
Yeah.
This is the core innovation, the dual cone lock.
Yeah.
This is where it gets really clever and very mechanical. The absolute goal is immobilization. total lockdown.
Because usually when a straight cut goes wrong?
Yeah, it's because the hair slips or scatters or the tension isn't even as you cut across.
Yeah.
This dual comb thing tackles that head on.
So how does it work? What are they actually doing with these combs?
It's literally like making a hair sandwich. You need two combs, just standard combs. One goes underneath the section of hair you're about to cut, pressing up. And the other comb goes right on top, pressing down. Bir tarak alta, bir tarak justa, top and bottom.
And they're not just resting there, you're saying they're actively pressing the hair.
Actively compressing it. The source uses the term Sasha Kitliorus, which means we lock the hair.
Locking it, okay.
And the whole point of this compression is to stop the hair scattering or shifting sideways while you cut. Sasansolo oinamasana and jelly check, preventing it moving right or left.
Okay, hold on. Here's my question then. If you squeeze the hair that tight between two hard combs, won't that tension make the hair spring up unevenly when you take the combs away? Aren't you just creating a different kind of problem?
That's a really sharp observation, and yet it's a potential issue you have to consider. If the hair was very fine, maybe, or the pressure wasn't totally even,
right,
you could get some recoil. But remember that super straight blow dry, the dumdus pursus. That minimizes how much the hair can even stretch vertically in the first place. So the main job of this lock isn't really about vertical tension. It's almost entirely about lateral stability, stopping sideways escape. Think of the combs creating, like a rigid channel.
A jig in woodworking or something.
Exactly. They're less worried about a tiny, uniform vertical stretch and much more worried about hair slipping out the sides as the clipple comes along.
So the lock basically forces the hair section to act like one solid unit. No slipping, no scattering. The compression gives it the rigidity needed for the cut. Precisely. And then, holding those combs tightly locked together, they pull the whole thing down to where the cut needs to happen. And the instruction here is critical. The combs must be held perfectly straight and flat.
So the straightness of the final cut depends entirely on how straight you hold those two combs.
Yes. The combs become the template, the absolute guide. They are the ruler.
Which brings us to the cutting part. And this is where it gets really unconventional because the guide is so solid, so locked in.
Right. They don't need traditional shears, which always have some element of, human hand movement or swing. Instead, they use a standard shaver. A clipper.
Yeah, a clipper. The Turish Machinesi, which is kind of brilliant because it's a machine designed for consistent mechanical motion.
But they don't just buzz across it, right? There's a specific way they hold it.
Very specific. The angle is key. The source says they bring the clipper to a 0-degree angle.
0 degrees? That sounds weird. Normally with clippers, you lay the flat part against the comb or the head, don't you?
You do, for like a buzz cut. But here, 0 degrees means you're only using the very, very tip, the cutting edge of the blade. And utoegetirip, just the end point.
Why just the tip?
Well, think about it. If you press the whole flat part of the clipper blade against that comb guide, there's more surface area, more chance for vibration, maybe pushing the comb slightly, even micro movements. By using just that 0-degree tip, it's minimal contact, maximum precision.
It's like using the very point of a craft knife against a ruler, not the whole flat side of the blade.
Perfect analogy. You're treating the clipper edge like a precision instrument running along that preset track.
And that track is the bottom comb.
Exactly. The bottom comb is the cutting guide. The source explicitly says it's used like a ruler, said Vilgibi. The clipper just follows that perfectly straight, rigid edge created by the comb.
So the accuracy isn't in the stylist's hand anymore. It's built into the setup, into that comb lock.
Completely. The precision is transferred to the integrity of the locked combs. The cutting itself becomes almost automatic. So you're listening, just picture that. This flowing hair subtly compressed into a hard straight line by the combs. And then this clipper blade just zips across, using the comb edge as its guide. And the result, according to the source, is immediate and clear. After you do this, you get a perfectly straight image look.
Wow.
Then, of course, there's a quick final check, UFAC beer control, just to make sure every strand was caught and cut cleanly by the guide. But essentially, the job's done, mechanically straight.
Okay, so let's wrap this up for the listener. Let's distill the key takeaways from this really technical deep dive. We started looking for that perfect straight line.
Yeah, and we found this blueprint for achieving it through mechanics, really, not just art. So the key things for you to remember are, 1, the prep is everything. That perfect blow dry, the client's posture standardizing first. 2, the absolute core idea is that dual comb locking system, turning flowing hair into a rigid block to stop any sideways movement.
Right, the lateral stability.
And 3, using the clipper completely differently. Not freehand, but as a precision tool guided by that comb ruler, using just the 0-degree tip.
And I think what this really shows us, stepping back, is that anytime you're chasing technical perfection with something inherently variable like hair or maybe even other things,
Sure.
mastery often comes down to obsessing over the setup, controlling the conditions, stabilizing everything, eliminating the variables before the main event. The actual cut, in this case, becomes almost inevitable if the prep is perfect.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And it leaves us with a final thought, maybe a provocative one for you to chew on, building on how rigorous this whole process is.
Given how many steps there are, the specific blow dry, the posture tweak, the physics of the comb lock, the precise clipper angle just to get one perfectly straight line, what does that tell us about how incredibly challenging it must be to achieve even basic geometric precision in hands-on human services like styling?
It implies that what looks simple, or maybe even effortless,
Right.
often has this incredibly complex, tightly controlled process hidden underneath. Perfection isn't luck, it's engineered.
A lot of hidden labor behind that perfect result.
Definitely food for thought. Well, thanks for exploring the geometry of the perfect haircut with us today.
Yeah, this was fascinating. We look forward to diving into the next set of sources with you all.
Hello, friends, today. Lightweight curtain, bangs, hair design. I will explain in detail how to do this. First, your hair is basic. I applied your distinctions. Then I cut the length of the hair. Here is your hair, E, by combing from behind while cutting the basic neck, with sharp line cutting technique by forming a straight line. In straight one cut, I cut the back part, then cutting the sides in the same way as cutting the back section. The same technique I used. E, I also apply it to the E section on the left, from the hair point we cut before on the back. The guide we received. E, following on the sides. I cut them all the same size. After cutting the left side, I go to the right side in two pieces in one step, by taking one pinch from the hair point I cut before. The pinch over there is my guide, because one previous EA hair point, I cut it that size. Since it will be a guide of that size, I will cut it to the same size. I follow my guide, and we cut all the hair the same length. Our customer's E model E hair length. I apply one cut straight to medium size, starting from the front of the hair. First curtain on the front parts, and other parts of the light folded. We apply a moving haircut design. There will be no very busy floors. Front part, folding when making curtain cardamom from the finishing line of the eyebrow, E to the front part. I create a triangle 1 distinction by creating a purchase pattern from the end of the eyebrows to form the EE triangle in the front. By creating create a full triangle pattern. I apply folding process starting from the front part, while cutting the E section on the right. I'm going to the left. For me to capture an angle of 45 degrees more comfortably, I'm going to my customer's left, and from the left side E hair with a 45 lira combing angle. Beautiful. 1. I start the curtain frame design by folding. First I cut the right side. While cutting the right side, I pass to the left side of my customer. Here E. Diagonal to the back to create folding to the back, creating a cross distinction. Hair on the front. Scanning here, guinea cross with one scan style. Combing the hair to one single one point. Hereby creating a sharpening cutting technique, and this is in the front while scanning a certain point. I guide the first pinch we cut. After seeing the guide size here, as you can see, with a net one cutting stroke, that is, with the sharpening cutting technique, I cut and comb the hair on the front. E, because I scanned at only one point, and when I scan the front, the back sides are long. Front sides get one fold view. Her hair is too dense here. E without folding and the length of the hair. By preserving, that is, folding the front parts of the hair for the rear sides to provide one view without shortening. The front of the hair to a single point, that is, we cut it one ago. Curtain cardamom, E with hair length. And by applying E, scanning the front to a single point. E, I created one cutting process. And here the back parts of the hair are long, the front parts are folded. There are also flaws in the back, but there are not very dense flaws. After cutting the right side, I go to the left side. The same technique, I apply it on the left side too. So my customer. I pass to the right side of our customer while cutting the left side. And, while creating curtain bangs, comb the hair towards a certain point, and here I cut by applying one angle of 45 degrees. After providing this E again, towards the back E diagonal from the peak, so cross by creating one cross distinction up to the neck. This distinction we created, scanning to the front. After scanning, I scan